Hey guys, how's it going? How's it going? Zimzilla back again, once again. And today I've got actually a few new things that I kind of want to show off that I was tinkering with throughout the week and today before the stream started. Hopefully, this works as well as I hope it does. So now that the stream started, we can kind of get this underway and see how it looks. And that primarily is this. So, yeah, that is actually streaming from my iPad. And overall, as I'm looking at it, it's not too bad in terms of a delay on my iPad to the stream here for you guys. So, we're going to probably be doing a little bit of that. Just some art stuff like I was talking about. Originally, what I had planned to do was draw some stuff up and then hopefully from there share it to myself and then present it on the stream. But with that, hopefully it will last and the stream's not like my iPads and my computer isn't gonna get like super overwhelmed. So yeah. Laggy Chris the Terminator, what's good? What's good? And since obviously it's gonna be an open mic too, I'm gonna be adding a invite here. I'm gonna put it across all the different places where I sort of hosted and advertised the stream. So if people are interested in joining, they are able to. But while I do that, I just want to take some questions. How are y'all doing? Or if you have any questions for me, just sort of shoot them out. I'm curious to see what you guys think. All right. Sent via Twitter. Oh man, that's no problem. The stream's probably gonna go for maybe about like 2-3 hours, give or take. And if I do last that long, then if you're home by then, you want to join, you are more than welcome to. Yeah, it's really nice that one I've been getting better at doing the whole digital art thing, which of course, having to be the wonderful shill that I am, still got the shirt designs here. I still haven't updated all of them, and it looks like there's a sale going on, probably just like across all of TeePublic and whatnot. But yeah, if you're interested in just kind of get one of these kaiju on like a shirt or a poster or something, anything really to support the channel, it helps. And then of course, I already talked about the coffee, but specifically today, if it looks like the iPad streaming and me doing the art works well enough, what I'm probably going to do actually is if someone wants to, if they donate a certain amount here and sort of explain like what they want to like want me to draw or something like a character or one of the monsters or something on stream, I'm more than welcome to do that. It'd probably be about the same price in terms of like what my commissions are. And if anyone's curious about like the price of my commissions, let me scroll over. So yeah, about like 20 more since it's a stream, 10 or so. Around that much, I'd be more than happy to draw a character of someone's while the stream's going on. But yeah. And actually, I'll do it from here as well. Let me actually put the link to join the stream through here as well. So it's gonna be in the chat too if anyone's interested in joining from there, and send it across to a few more places. Yes, interested. since I just want to send it across like everywhere I think it would be worthwhile sending it to. Boom. And probably last one I'll do. There we go. Good. Otherwise, work on my personal life and both my personal series and catch your habits series. Yeah, that's awesome to hear, man. I hope, in terms of your personal life, everything's kind of going good in that aspect. But I think probably the first thing we can talk about, considering that's like a big deal apparently right now, is like the supposed Godzilla design that got shown off, which isn't the actual design. We'll show this here. So, where did I? Yep. So, this is the post that it came from because people were saying it came from Facebook. So, I got to see who it was, the guy who had done it, and then I had to go looking for the group, and that was the group it's in, and this is all of it translated down. So, for anyone who is wondering, he's work sharing, but again, the illusion that the dorsal plates is a single spiking combination while joining Godzilla's hand-drawn posters took a year on and off to adjust the shape. The dorsal refers to the extra long thorns. I really don't think this is official, based on the fact that one, no one's been like we haven't heard anyone being actually attached to the project in terms of working on the design, and considering that we did get that other picture that completely obscured the design. If anything, most likely the design's already been set in stone, and someone wouldn't really foolishly leak it like on a Facebook group like this without like being more specific. I think this is just like a fun project someone was doing, and it had really nothing else to do with the new Godzilla movie that's coming out, because this was something that was posted on, I think it was 4chan where I found this, and apparently what this says here is that the official design is a mix between a whale and a stegosaurus posture of a 1940s interpretation of a T-Rex. Features less dorsal spines, with the main being the largest and hard, while minor ones are soft and floppy. Body has notable crusty burns on it. Tip of tail has a club on it. Main dorsal spine splits apart to absorb oxygen for atomic breath. Atomic breath is clear to white depending on how strong it is. Is like a pressurized air cannon or stream rather than a beam or fire. 60 meters roar is 84, 89 in remix of 54s. And primarily, this is in line with that other leak we gotten, I want to say at least a year or two ago, about there being two Godzillas, one of them being more traditional looking, the other being a little bit more whale looking. But the idea of essentially it being like a mix between a whale and a stegosaurus, we already know what Godzilla is a mix of, so it kind of seems obvious. And then specifically pulling on the depictions of dinosaurs, was saying it's the posture similar to that of a T-Rex and the like. I don't believe any of this for a second, and especially because of the fact that they're denouncing this design, which the other guy said wasn't really like an official design or a leak or something. It just feels like people are drumming up their own theories to get eyes on whatever it is they're sort of pulling in terms of clicks and the like. So I don't believe any of this for a second. But that's neither here nor there. But looking at it more, the design, it's a full design essentially, because you see that parts of it are at least missing. But he's been working on parts of it here and here. That looks like portions that you put on the legs. But Goji fan, it was awesome to see him actually comment something. He likes the design. I like the design. Specifically, what I replied to him was, it reminds me a bit of Final Wars concept art body, Kiryu neck, Final Wars head, and 2014 spines. So the head very much reminds me of Final Wars, while the neck area definitely reminds me of like the Kiryu Saga, especially with the little bits running along the sides. in the Final Wars concept. So that design specifically, like the one that has like the red center to it, but it looks all super craggly and all, like especially on the arms and the chest. It reminds me a whole lot of that. And the spines are a mixture of that concept design along with like 2014 spines, which essentially just look like giant rocks shooting out of its back. So that's what it reminds me of, at least. But again, I don't really believe any of this is an actual official design. If it is, I'd be surprised to say the least. But with my rambling out of the way, we have Paul Tackett in the house. For Mr. Paul specifically, I heard something happened on your end. I'm not sure if I'm at liberty to really speak on that and all its detail, but I hope you're doing a lot better. And once we kind of know, like, I know Matt specifically said that they'll be letting us know whether there's anything we can sort of send a donate to you. So I hope you're doing okay, man. It's good to see you doing. And got a second person in the back here. So you know him, you love him, unless you really don't like 98 people. The only, the G98 appreciator, Zavik.
Hey, what's up?
Outside the ceiling, I'm doing pretty good. We've got Brandine in the chat. Brandine, and of course, man, I'm happy to see you here. At least that means that one, you're able to access things, so doing a lot better. And for anyone who is just sort of coming in right now, yeah, I wonder if anyone's got any thoughts on the supposed leaked official design of it. Do you have any thoughts on it or not?
Well, I just found out about it like earlier today, and it certainly looks interesting on its own.
Yeah.
I would imagine that part of its design is connected to like the whole, is the G supposed to be like the teasing how he's gonna look?
Yeah, like a silhouette of the body. Let me see if I can bring that up. New Godzilla movie poster. Let's see if it comes up that way. New Godzilla. I'll do it this way. 2023. Yeah, there it is. Because I remember when a lot of people first saw this, they were like, "Is that the head? Is that like supposed to be where the legs are going to be? And is that the tail or something?" But yeah,
Because I can see how like one, like it can go either way of what influenced what.
Mm-hmm. Because like just specifically the fact that it was posted on a random, not necessarily like big, but just a random Facebook group, and then it somehow is a leak. I just don't buy it. I don't think so. But that's neither here nor there. But it seems like a lot of people. So the original post I posted to was this one, and it's like everyone for some reason thinks that the design's like gonna be Heisei inspired, or this design's Heisei inspired. Like, do you really see any kind of Heisei inspiration with this design here, or no?
Not necessarily, no. Like, if anything, I get a feeling of more Millennium Godzilla. Like, that kind of looks like the wolf-like head we saw in a lot of the Millennium films.
Mm-hmm. Like, where is it?
Because that's the
Someone had
vibe
a
I get.
I know someone had a really good comparison between like that design's head and um the Kiryu Godzilla. Let me see if I can find that. Did I must have been on my profile then. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Is it looks like Kiryu Goji's head.
Yeah, especially with both the head and the neck area too, because of the ribbing there. But I'm not, unless like people are trying to say that because it looks like another Godzilla design that's traditional, therefore it looks like it's mimicking Heisei. I don't know. Like, I understand a lot of people don't want Heisei inspired designs anymore because we have the Snow Godzilla, the new Gigan Rex design, the Ride Godzilla, all kind of very much taking after the Heisei Godzilla design. But like, this is I wouldn't call that a Heisei Godzilla looking design, but I don't know. And this post also was kind of interesting. Since I totally forgot about the fact that them is gonna be getting a like remake soon or something. It would be kind of cool to see like a bunch of old 50s American monster movies get remakes. But if in your opinion, if you were gonna be getting a 50s American monster remake that you're gonna see in the near future, besides like them and Beast, which one would you want to see?
Let me think. Let me think. Man, what would I want to see? I don't know, cause like I'm sort of blanking on what can I think of that hasn't gotten a remake in a while.
20 Million Miles to Earth is another one I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh yeah.
Or like a lot of like
Ooh.
the bug ones, like Deadly Mantis, the giant Gila monster, Tarantula, Black Scorpion's another one too that they could do.
Uh, it would be neat to see like It Came From Beneath the Sea get a remake.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. I could totally see that. That'd be nice. I mean, considering the fact that like there hasn't been like a major blockbuster like giant octopus monster movie, really. I mean, I guess you could consider it underwater, but I wouldn't really count it since it's like quote
Yeah.
unquote Cthulhu. But yeah, I could totally see that.
And
And
then
yeah,
there's also the giant behemoth.
mm-hmm,
That would be neat to see.
true. And that could totally, considering the fact that what's his name? Titanic Creations has the Gorgo thing going on. If we got a Gorgo remake, that'd be interesting. Since Brandon brought up, yeah. Well, no, that's not the T Facto one. That is Dope Popes. Let me stop sharing for a second while I pull that because I already know he sent it to me, so I'm just gonna send it to myself like a man. But outside of seeing what's going on with the new Godzilla stuff, how's the kaiju making been going?
Oh, it's pretty good. You know, I've come up with a few new kaiju.
Anything specific you want to be showcasing tonight, or just
Yeah,
sort of working along with the thing?
yeah. I'll send you like a few that I have ready.
Yeah, totally. Shoot a few over. And I just sent that to myself. So thank you. I just got that notification. Perfect. Back to Sharon. And yes, right there. And yeah, this is what Brandon here is referring to, is that yeah, those spines very much are reminiscent of this new Godzilla design. Even the head too, and the spines along the back of the arms here too. Which it doesn't lead me to believe that he was copying this design, or that completely proves that's not official, but there was very much like similar influences going on if there's a lot of these very similar details that people can pull out. But before we look at stuff from ourselves, I'm going to be sharing some stuff that I saw on the Instagrams recently that were as interesting. So we first looking at Lizard King Productions. He even just recently just showed off a interpretation of this Godzilla Zero design based on what we have seen here. And I think it's interesting too that he gave him such a long tail here. But it's I'm interested to see where it goes. But your thoughts, Vic, on just this design here, kind of elaborating further on it.
the body, from what we see both here and on the sculpt, I think is very interesting.
Mhm.
It would be neat to see how it could look, and I guess it would be like Shin, where it's like CG rendered.
Mhm.
So the
Yeah.
spikes are super interesting to me on both the drawing and the sculpt, because like
Mhm.
I don't think we've seen anything like that aside from both 2014 and 98 when it comes to like different shapes of the dorsal plates.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we see different shapes a lot, but it's like we very much don't see different shapes that are like a singular point rather than a lot of fraying on the ends. But totally. And then of course he also wanted to show off some of his own stuff that he was doing. For anyone who doesn't remember, I did do a review of his character, King Tyrannos, and he's just been doing a little bit of extra bits of redesign on it. So the posture's been built up a little bit more. The spines are a little bit closer together. Horns a little bit smaller, but it's broader too. Um, Colors are a little bit more vibrant here. I really like what he did with the tail, and it's really awesome to see what he did based on some of the suggestions I provided and just sort of how his art style has been improving. But
Hmm.
Vic, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I remember watching your kaiju reviews. Like, I remember I binged a whole bunch of them, and I
Hey,
remember this one, and this was one of the kaiju I really liked as well.
mhm.
And I think the whole universe he's building is pretty cool.
Yeah, like a lot, almost all of his monsters are all just reptiles. And I think this is an example where you see a lot of really good naturalistic designs here, because this was another one he wanted to show off, was Dronus, which is the second monster here, which is a quadruped. But looking at both monsters, because there's this shot here of them, they both look very reptilian, but they both have aspects of them that appear like kaiju. And because they're both reptiles and they're both mutated, there's that aesthetic similarity there. And since that's shared across all of his monsters, it breeds just a very consistent design sensibility here between the two. But I'm curious, between anyone who's in the chat right now seeing this, between Tyrannos, which is the red one, and Dronus, which is the brown one, which do you prefer? Tyrannos or Dronus? T for Tyrannos, and for Dronus, D for D's nuts.
One thing these also remind me of is like because I just recently watched King Dinosaur, and in
Hmm.
that film they use normal reptiles as dinosaurs, and
Yeah.
it sort of reminds me of like that, which I like here better than in the actual movie.
Yeah, what's interesting, yeah, those are like slurposaurs and stuff, and I think
Hmm.
that's actually interesting to notice how with slurposaurs you're essentially just sticking fins and stuff on top of real animals, but it is interesting that you could actually kind of take that concept here and run with it in a way, and I think that's an interesting insight that I do appreciate. And outside the fact that we're here, we're getting a third in. I haven't talked to this man in a hot minute, but you know him. He's the 1999 to my 99, the E to the Z, the Eric Zilla. How's it going, my man?
Yo, we're good, we're good, we're good, Zim. It has been it's been a
Far too
while.
long. It's been a hot minute.
Indeed, man, indeed. I see you're doing some good content, man. I've been like listening to your what would you call this? A stream or a podcast?
I mean, it's a stream, but like essentially, you don't really have to see the visuals for it. So it essentially works as both a podcast and a stream.
Yeah, like I've been listening. Like it's good background noise to listen to when I'm drawing. It's
Yeah,
pretty good.
exactly. Like you don't really get that kind of stuff, kaiju wise here.
Oh yeah, Mhm.
But yeah, no.
Awesome. Yeah.
Any big art stuff that you've been doing in the meantime?
Um, Not really massive. Like not really anything too like different, but like I've been like lately redesigning my monsters to keep up to
Mhm.
date with like the year and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like so like the last time I updated my monsters was like last year, so yeah, that's something.
Yeah, no, I vibe with that. I vibe with that exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good to see you, and of course, like gotta give props to one of the bands who really helped me kind of get into this in terms of doing a lot more art stuff.
Yes.
But with what actually, since we can go back to it, what's your thoughts on this so-called new Godzilla design here?
All right. Is it gonna be on the stream right there? Or?
Yeah, let me move it over real quick. Stop sharing. Switch over. Wrong one. Is it? Do I still have it here? Yes, I do. Big old boy.
Oh yeah, the fan made Godzilla sculpt.
Yeah, that everyone says is official.
Yeah, I mean, I really just don't really like with these type of things. I don't really like go into them anymore. This kind of reminds me of this one time when I
Mhm.
thought that the sculpt for Rodan for the 2019 Rodan was not the like legit and stuff, and I was just like, nope. And then like that sculpt ended up being legit, but
Oh, I remember that. I remember that
yeah,
was so funny.
I know. It was just like, yo, Eric, what happened, man? It's just like, yep, I was wrong.
No, you know what's even better was I remember it was several G Fest ago. It got revealed around that time, and everyone like there was wondering if it was official or not. And you just see groups of people huddled around phones looking at it and arguing, like, no, this ain't official. No, this is totally official.
Yeah, yeah. But
But
anyway, this sculpt, however, this Godzilla sculpt right here is really well done. Even
mm,
for like if it is, I personally doubt it is. I doubt it's official. It's this confirmation that it is fan made, but a lot
mm,
of people like to still speculate that it is and all that. And um, this is still well done, even as a fan made. It's just
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a definitely cool design. Like I would love to maybe get like sort of like an unofficial model or something of it just to paint up myself because at least the design itself is nice.
Oh yeah, it's really good, well detailed and all that.
And although I don't follow it as much, obviously you're rocking the profile picture for it.
Oh yeah.
How's all the Blazer stuff been looking at? I saw the
Uh,
at least the monster scan. The monster scan looks nice. I'm not a huge fan of Blazer's design, but at least the kaiju looks cool, which I'm really happy
that's
about. And
that's the funny thing is that I've noticed that not a lot of people really like his design.
so let me actually. Okay, you're gonna hear me rant.
Go ahead, man.
I'll pull it up. Man, Blazer. So first off, people who may or may not know this about me, I'm not super big on asymmetrical designs. And primarily, that one thing on his eye, it just, I really don't like it.
It doesn't look good on it, huh?
hmm Like,
Mm,
I think, like, something like, and it also, I think the effect itself here is at least, like, on a technical level, well done. The issue for me is that stuff never really like vibes with me for human ultra characters. Like with the color timer, because we've seen it so much among Ultraman, it makes sense and it's been contextualized enough. The
yeah,
fact that he's just got this little glowing bit on him, I'm always gonna be wondering what the point of is, and probably when the series comes out, they'll explain it. But like the first thing that reminds me of is Endeavor's kind of fire from My Hero Academia. But because it's a solid mass on his head and it doesn't move, it just glows. I'm always gonna be wondering, like, is it a horn or is it like just a glowy piece of metal on him?
yeah. Like, that's you're not the only one who thinks that actually.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I have a friend of mine that he just doesn't really like the design altogether. like,
Mm-hmm.
like with your like, there are people that have that exact same thought that you have, like that same opinion about the design.
Mm-hmm.
And then like there's just others that I just don't like the design.
Yeah,
It's
like
like
I mean, like the thing is that for me, I'm always the kind of person where if I don't like something, I want to explain why I don't like it.
yeah.
And another like one thing I never noticed until I saw this shot here, he's got like kind of a little split toe going right there. Unless like it's
Oh
just
yeah.
the suit just looking kind of weird, but like if you were also removed all like that red and blue there, you remove that, it would be a very basic Ultra design, but it'd be actually kind of interesting because it reminds me a lot of Noah and the next design,
Yes.
primarily that gray and silver
Yeah.
bit, which I think would be
Uh,
kind of cool. But just adding this here, it really, really looks, it's super distracting. And I'm like, why? Stop.
yeah, I mean, I'll like on the contrary with like some people, personally dig the design mainly just because like it's something just it's kind it's a bit it's this ultra is clearly different like from the
Mhm.
moment you can hear him roar like
Yeah.
like that part like bro like I like at that moment it's like this ultra is gonna be way different from the others, man.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, yeah, there've been other ultras, but like there were evil ultras, you know. But
Yeah,
like this one
exactly.
is like an ultra that protects, you know, for justice and all that. And like
Hmm.
this one roars at other monsters. I'm like, bro, that is some gnarly shit.
Yeah, like
like,
definitely. If he's looking this
uh,
different, he acting so different. I think like also, isn't there not supposed to be like a gimmick for this season too? Like, wasn't that
oh
something that
yeah, no,
director?
this one doesn't have a gimmick.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
And
like you want also there's a damn it, if only I could link it, but I can't because I'm on my phone. But there's a whole thing on Japanese Twitter where like supposedly that the people, the higher ups in Bandai, they wanted the director to have some gimmicks. They wanted him to. But since they gave the director full like power over the production
yeah,
of
I saw
that
that on
scene,
Twitter.
he
Yeah.
freaking they're just like, oh man, now we can't step in and make them put some gimmicks in there, and it's like it's just like, man, like that's honestly really good, man. I
Like,
mm.
I will another thing I'll also say is I'm looking at his transformation device. Immediately to me, it screams like it'd be like perfect for a gimmick. So does this robot here. But like
Yeah.
if there's no gimmick, like that Megamind, no gimmicks. Like I'm super interested to see where it
yeah.
goes.
Uh,
But like yes.
I'm
Ultra
I'm
Series and no gimmick.
personally am pretty like just excited for this. On like for the last Ultra series, Ultraman Decker, like that one was pretty good for what it is. There was a lot of
Mm,
really great like visuals and everything like that, and the stories were really good too. But
mm,
like like this one also like and keep this in mind, like Ultraman Blazer, like this is like I think like yeah, this is after Shin Ultraman.
mm-hmm.
So obviously it seems like they're taking like it seems like they're probably gonna take the aspects of like Shin Ultraman, like the way how the world was established in that film,
Mm-hmm.
and like most likely they're gonna mix it with like Ultraman Nexus or the next, you know,
It's super interesting, and I wonder if there's a lot of Gaia Sims who are probably seething right now that
bruh.
the third series after Decker and Trigger wasn't a Gaia type
oh
series.
man, like I thought personally there was gonna be another Gaia one, but his anniversary like I think passed
Oh,
like
did
that
it?
year. Yeah, I
Oof.
think so. So
Gaia
they
fans stay
couldn't.
mad, I guess.
Yeah, man. I love Gaia too. Like that one,
Mhm.
he's pretty badass too.
Gaia,
But
like,
yeah,
I will, like, I think people do know this about me, but TDG are my three favorite Ultra series, probably followed by like Mebius and Max. Probably is my like fourth.
mm,
But like, I mean, it is what it is. It kind of sucks that we're not getting a Gaia anniversary because I'd love to see some of the monsters like come back. Like COV coming back would have been nice.
oh yeah.
Pazuzu returning because he was a cool
Oh
design.
man.
Oh, I was about to say Demogorg, but Demogorg was Dinah.
Did you mention Super COV?
Super COV would have been nice too, yeah.
Yeah.
Or even just like a lot. I would have liked to have seen more like Frontier monsters return. Like Geomos, like Neo Geomos is my favorite monster.
Bro.
So
He
I would have
was
loved to see him
yeah.
return.
He was
But
essentially the Gomora of Ultraman
of
Gaia.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean
Oh
it
no, wait.
happened.
Wait, fuck.
He
He
was
was in Dyna.
yeah, he
He
was
was in
Dynas.
Dyna. Neo Geomos was in Dyna. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because
yeah.
Tiga is my favorite series, but Geomos is my favorite kaiju from that whole
From that
line.
show, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably if
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say like favorite Tiga monster, probably Ligatron was my favorite. Because I
Oh
really
yeah.
like essentially he's Heisei Jamila, essentially.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. but just a little bit more space dragony. Like he's essentially like Jamila, but more Gigan, but like Gigan more grounded, which is
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
Like,
Indeed.
but we also got a fourth in here because I spread my seed, and by seed I mean my link to the stream far and wide.
Indeed,
and
you did.
I'm pulling another child in here.
All
The
right.
potato. Hello, good child.
I didn't really appreciate you saying you spread your seed, but I'll let it slide for now.
How you doing, my man?
I'm very well. I saw you doing your open mic night, and I think, oh, I might as well join this. This seems interesting.
Awesome,
Yes.
awesome. Obviously, since I always bringing people here and I keep asking, but I'll bring it back to it. Your thoughts on the totally official Godzilla design that is definitely the real thing. Like, do you like it? Not like it? Could go without. Is what is.
Can you give me the link of it so I can like get a better look at it?
Yeah, no, totally. I'll send you some of it on Discord, so it's a little bit easier for you to see it.
Is it like a incomplete sculpture, or
It's like a sculpture, but like we don't really necessarily know. Like it, for all intents and purposes, it's essentially a unofficial design. Like it's just fan made, and that's what I'm believing is that it's fan made.
To me, it looks kind of like a model kit, like work in progress.
Yeah,
well,
that's what it looks
what
like.
is.
It looks like something I would see someone post about on Instagram.
And well, here's the thing: the what's it called? The Facebook group that was on is like a like kaiju like model kit Facebook group. So most likely that's what it is. It's just a fan made design. I'm not sure who it was, like who the first person who said this was official, but whoever did that, why? No, stop.
Why is that the first thing you jump to? You know, it's like
because everyone wants eyes on their thing. Everyone wants to click.
I would assume it's just because everyone's desperate to get some more Godzilla content.
Exactly.
But
bro, how much you want to bet, man? There's gonna be D-Man making a video, hyper analyzing this whole thing.
No. You know who's gonna do a theory about this being an official design? I mean, I think was it them? I swear, I think it was them who said this.
But to give my answer, assuming this is incomplete, well, the actual sculpture, I like how incredibly hostile it looks. It's bumpy. There's crags, like splinters, spikes all over the body. It gives like a very I don't want to say unnatural, but a very aggressive feel.
Yeah, it's definitely very aggressive, and at least I could say that they didn't say it was actually official. They at least caveated it, but
I do like how the spines are just big spikes.
They're not rock, simple as.
It's simple enough, and it also really gives the feeling that this thing's just aggressive. Just a really aggressive look to it.
Yes.
Yeah, unofficial or not, I have to say, it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But
very much is.
Outside of, what's it called? Godzilla stuff too. I also want to look at some more fan made stuff. Jack's been doing a lot of new stuff.
Yeah,
recently.
he makes he's some of the coolest stuff I've seen.
I haven't catch up with his stuff, man. So most of this stuff is new to me.
Yeah, some of the coolest shit ever.
Like his art's been kind of getting a little bit more refined. It looks like he's been just really pumping out some stuff here.
Did he finish that sculpt of his monster?
I don't think so. Like there's so much stuff with him.
He's
that I respect.
He's been cooking.
Yeah, he does a.
My boy had been like over here cranking some dailies, man. Look at that.
Yeah, I wish I had his productivity. I've been trying. Yeah. Like specifically, like I like the fact that he's just been kind of just redoing a lot of his old stuff. Like seeing the progress shown here, it's nice. I also just love how he does just like the colors here, how it's shaded like this. It has this comic feel, but it also is still super detailed though. Like And then this right here, his
I love it.
Gorjak
I
stuff.
adore them. They're so good.
These ones are pretty fucking clean.
I especially adore the Gordrax because I believe the original was a bit more of a traditional Godzilla-esque in proportions and stuff, but instead
Yeah, let me see if
he,
I can find the original
he
one.
gave it a bit more.
Yeah, like
more
even this
pink.
one here, the volcano bit on the back's a little bit bigger,
Ah,
which it gives it more
Far
of a
more
Godzilla look
traditional.
to it. Yeah.
yeah.
It's far more traditional.
And then once it pulled back, it look. Ugh. See, literally, this is what happens in your productive. Is I have to like really, really scroll down and essentially show your stuff because it's that good. Again, the man's been cooking.
Indeed.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm. As well as it also just shows how much progress he's made in his art. Like, good on him. Load for me, please. Yeah, even this one right here, you can see that the proportions are a little bit more traditional Godzilla. You know, with this other Gorjak species monster here too.
Yes.
Like, it's nice. It's real nice. But all this was done recently too, and essentially it's been sort of outside of like these few here. All the monsters that are introducing are all having a face-off with the next one that gets shown off because it shows this giant here, and then it is a standoff between these two.
Bro, that's what
That's
the heck?
raw.
That's actually pretty good.
It also does the job where by doing this, essentially you're able to get better at drawing your monsters, especially from different angles and poses. Because he's not doing just a standard kind of portrait shot or profile or anything. It's a lot of work that's put into these, and the fact that he's been pulling them out has been nice.
I love his stuff. It's some of the best.
It's really good, really good.
Hey, Jacob.
Jacob.
We're getting all the people in, and then outside of Gorjak stuff, Liam's been doing he's been doing a lot of posts actually, because yeah, because all the Kaiju April stuff's been going on. So like it's been essentially I think he's pumped all of them out every single day, which has been awesome to see. And it's everyone out of the community. All these stuff's here.
No, that one was wild. Just
Jesse's stuff.
Dude, I've been way too busy with like college to really start to be doing monster stuff.
Yeah, no, literally, like I have to go to class tomorrow, and it's literally been a mixture of when I've got time in between classes, just working on stuff.
Yeah. Like I have something in the works already on my bed.
Oh, do you? I mean, if you want to show it off, I'll totally be down to show it off for you.
Nah, it's not anywhere near any like presentable place. I'm still doing the line work.
Gotcha. And what's it called? Outside of specifically this guy, Colossal Conqueror, his stuff's been I know he's got a comic that he's been working on that I'll show off in just a second here. Jadonsis, I've been talking to Jadonsis' creator a little bit because maybe do more stuff on his stuff. And the guy did Tyrannos as well. Because essentially for everyone who's been asking if they want me to do more, yeah, it's Matt.
Oh yeah, it's Matt. I know that dude. I talked to him on Facebook ages ago.
Yeah, Matt's a cool guy.
God, I need to talk to that dude again. It's been ages.
Yeah, that's just kind of what happens sometimes. Is that like you get to a lot of talking, and then school pumps up, and then everyone's like, "Dang it!"
Oh, there's Tyler too. Yeah, I've been keeping up with that dude stuff.
Yeah, the cool thing about like all the Kaiju April, Kaiju and stuff is that like essentially I always just pick Kaiju from creators, and everyone kind of gets to draw them, and from there, people's stuff kind of gets exposed to other people who may not have seen it.
Oh yeah, that guy. I had a thing for his contest like that was like on like 2 months ago. I completely I had to I wasn't able to finish it because I was too busy with college.
I know someone else had a contest that I did not get to do because again I was super busy with other stuff at the moment.
The combination of busyness and procrastination.
Yeah, that's the thing that kills it. Actually, for all you guys and all artists, do you think it's procrastination that's your biggest hurdle as an artist, or is it time?
I say both. honestly.
If you had to pick one or the other, like one that you think really hampers you more, give or take.
Probably. That's a tough one. Because both are. I'd probably say time. Because, like. When you. Because you get. At least for me, whenever I have to work on an assignment, it takes like. I have like only like 2 weeks at most. Sometimes 3 weeks. And that's not a lot of time. Drawing takes a lot of time. And
Yeah.
sometimes you usually take like at least like a week just to give something presentable. And like I have to like speed run it, like go work through like the night into the day just to get out something that actually looks presentable and quality.
I know definitely for me, like the biggest thing is I would say probably time too, because like with procrastination, it really only hits me if it's like essentially like a re-edit of something I've already done before, because I like to reuse a lot of poses and shapes and stuff. So from there, it's easy to kind of crank stuff out. But like very rarely am I having issues with procrastination. But yeah, it's always time too, especially with job. And Eric, are you beating it there? Okay.
Oh, my bad. I'm kind of
I'm
animating right now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh no,
I forgot to bring that up. That
if you
I'm
want to
gonna
show your
be.
screen like what you're doing, I could totally
Oh,
like with the
I can't.
figures.
I can't at the moment, unfortunately.
It's no
Because
problem.
yeah, it's because I want to I want to keep this like kind of secret, like low profile kind of.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Oh yeah. But I mean, at least to answer this one, I mean, I can't really. Oh man, I don't even know how to say this without sounding like it. I don't know. I've never
confused?
dealt with those type of things like procrastination or time. I've
Oh well,
usually
I envy you then.
yeah, like I usually get things like done usually like
Well,
100% of the time.
you're certainly more productive than the rest of us. That's for sure.
Mm. I mean, then again, it's like usually I'm always having like free time on my end, so it's like I'm always getting things done usually faster than usual.
Generally, do you really have like a schedule or something that you usually do stuff with, or is it more like just whenever you have free time is you're kind of putting in work?
Oh yeah, whenever I usually have the free time, cause right now currently as of this stream or whatever, I'm not in classes right now. Like I have
Okay.
to I have classes during the summer, but
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
god.
But like even when I do have the classes during that time, like usually whenever I have free time, I draw and stuff like that. I usually try to get some drawings done so I could like get them out there because there's some occasions where people ask me like, "Oh, are you dead? Like, you taking a break from drawing?" Like, no, I'm just drawing a bunch of things right now, and I'm gonna post them all out, you know. But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, it's usually that, you know.
No, I vibe with that. What about you, Vic?
For me, it flip flops between either one because depending on if because I left my job a while ago, but when I had that, like it would be I would try to draw whenever like I had the time, but it sucked for me because like I would usually work until the evenings, and I'm a night owl, so I would usually get like a drawing or two done, but like it'd be like 3 a.m. in the morning by the time I was done, and I probably had work the next morning. So I
Yeah,
was like,
no,
I want to draw, but then I had to work. But now it's usually just procrastination because, like, I'll think of something that I really want to draw. I'll get a sketch done, and then I'll be like, that took a lot of energy, so I'll just wait until I do the line art next, and then coloring. And then just depends on my motivation of do I really want to get this done versus I don't have to get it done now.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. Like, what's it called? Let me share my screen right here. Yeah, so like, even with my own stuff, I've got like ton of stuff that I'm always working on, and the like. Outside of the fact that I also have the commissions that I do, and then just kind of Godzilla stuff that I do on the side, and then other kaiju stuff that I have on the side that I work on, and then like random stuff, and then sort of like other writings for other characters that aren't really kaiju related at all. It's always been a mixture of trying to balance out all the things I want to draw, plus like what it is like I think is like I want to get done priority wise in terms of it. Like I know at the moment this is something I'm maybe working on that's primarily a shirt design I want to get done. So like once this is all inked in, I'll be putting
Yo,
this on
what?
to
Zim merch? Let's go, bro.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Team always got Zim merch.
Yo, bro.
Nice.
But yeah. Cause like what's it called? Let me back up. All the almost I think actually, yeah, no. Outside of him, which I just finished like yesterday, all of the kaiju have all gotten all have been posted to the merch site. And I just need to
You
get
have a merch
him.
site?
Yeah. Yeah, let me do another show against.
Let's go. Shilling stream.
Everyone
by-
loves this. Everyone
Shameless
loves this.
advertising.
the shill stream.
Everyone loves the show. Like that's the only way an indie gets seen is you just gotta be a big old show.
Indeed.
But yeah, no, all of the like the Daikaiju Daikasen Zogra design that was out there for a while, but then right now, at least these four, and then this guy, all these Kaiju 2000 monsters all have their own designs, and then set one's there. And now that I have Stegus and then I have Kamba as well done, I can get almost all of set 2 done. Then I can start on set 3, and then Gekuro is just on its own by itself. So I've got the merch there, and then of course I'm doing the commissions. Plus, if anyone wants to, they can donate to the coffee, and I might do these more often. But if people want to, if they donate like $10 or $20, I can essentially draw something for them on stream, which is why I got the reflector here now, which is nice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you just gotta be a businessman and just really chill yourself out. You gotta sometimes be like, I'll draw your character for $10. But as well, speaking of what's it called, drawing, I'm gonna start doing some drawing. But if anyone's got any drawings that they want to kind of show off before, then actually no, there is something I need to show off. It's Vic's drawing. Vic sent me stuff. Now I need to go find your DM that you sent me. Share screen.
I mean, I had this for all my drawing assignments.
Yeah, send it to me in a via Discord
did.
and I'll share it. Awesome. So Vic, tell us about this first one and then tell us about the second one.
All right, so this first one here started out as so everyone knows that I really like 98, and one of the things I really liked about that Godzilla design is how he's horizontal to the ground and has that like modern dinosaur stance. And like that's something I don't really see much in other kaiju media, so I wanted to like make that sort of like my, I guess, kaiju style. And then I sort of wanted to like work around how I can, add on to this template. And so I just went with like a classic dinosaur look, and then started thinking about like what do I want to add on to it. And then I started out with like I wanted like this big, almost like a Paki type of head with like a big dome on it, so he can like ram other kaiju and stuff.
It reminds me the head a bit of Brachydios from Monster Hunter, if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I think he showed it off on another stream with another one of my kaiju.
Oh, nice.
And then I like that idea, and it's also partially inspired by one of the monsters from the Guyver movie. Because
which one?
is sort of like that, like the main one. I forget his name. So he has that like
Lisker?
Wait, is it from the Dark Hero or the
first one?
Oh,
yeah, Lisker, right?
But he's also in the second one. But yeah, I like that head shape, and I want to like put it on this kaiju.
That's gonna bug me now forever. I think you're thinking of Lisker. Let me Guyver Lisker. Yeah, him, right?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah,
hey,
I
was
really
right.
I really liked his head shape, and I wanted to like turn it into a kaiju.
Oh, they made busts of him. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that was a good. I always liked that design for Zoonoid. I didn't really like the fact that it was a Lisker, but again, it's a good monster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so like I put that shape of the dome head onto him, and it works like a Packy where he can ram it and stuff. And then I recently got into watching UFC, and then I noticed how some of the UFC gloves they have like padding on the knuckles and on the back of the hand. And I
Yeah,
thought
there's
that would be cool to put on a kaiju, so that he can like punch things. And so I really beefed up the forearms and added like armored plating around the fingers, knuckles, and stuff. And then I was watching Gamera, and I remembered he had the blades on his elbows and stuff, so I gave him those.
Mhm.
And then just some spikes because I love my spikes. And then he obviously has like a fire breath that works like a flamethrower and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I found the artist for that sculpture earlier.
Oh,
Oh,
really
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it was a Taiwan artist. Zian Ho.
Yeah, what's it called? The post I sent showed the name as well as the place it came from, so that we're aware of, like where it kind of came from in that sense. But Potato, thoughts on the design?
I can't really say much. I mean, you've already said most of what I could say. I think my only thing I could say is that like I feel like the brown and the green feel like they don't mesh together well.
I think
That's the only thing I could really say.
maybe I could probably agree with that too. Maybe using like a more muted, like softer gray, like not gray, brown that's closer to gray might work better too. I could say that might be possible. What about you, Eric? Any thoughts on that color?
I don't know. I mean, personally, I personally think that the color choice for the underbelly looks decent for what it is. Like
Mhm.
I don't like personally like I think like the brown and the green kind of complement each other like pretty well for what it is.
Mhm.
And it's yeah, there's nothing wrong with it per se. Personally, for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like the brown and green go well together. Maybe it's just probably the issue of the shading.
Perhaps.
One thing
Yeah.
I would say is like maybe with the back of the head where the second bit of spines are. Let me use my cursor right here. Like right here, having those kind of curl up a little bit more, so you have both like a packy head and Dilo spines or crest, I should say. That'd be interesting.
Ooh.
Because that could totally work. Although I do have to say I very much like the idea of giving them essentially UFC gloves. Like almost all the armor I designed for my characters, or human characters at least, I always have an over armor bit on the front, which has been an inspiration from like Halo Spartan armor, but also because since I do UFC, I always like that glove design because it always feels like it's very, very good padding wise and is really good like if you want to punch something and have like the insulation on your arms. Although, like, I would say the only thing I could say, like, maybe would be seeing what we could do more with those spines there, because they definitely are Godzilla esque, but seeing what we could do to either accentuate them more or something like in relation to this could definitely work too.
Cool.
And let me move over to the second one. And if it lets me press it, thank you. This one I really liked, but Vic, explain this one.
So this one was sort of like if the first one was like my Godzilla, I want to have an Anguirus to complement it. And so I just started out with like throwing ideas for like what a quadruped dinosaur could look like. And then it also came partially from because I really liked the 65, and I like the idea of like the quad T-Rex, whatever it was, because it was my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
creature
the
of that movie.
65 million years of that movie.
Mm-hmm. And then I was talking about how like I recently started watching a lot of like old classic dinosaur movies with like the Slurposaurs and everything.
Mhm.
So I wanted to have that kind of aesthetic. And I just had these ideas for like these big spines coming out of it. And then just giving him all sorts of like, just little details.
I would say definitely for this one, I really like the color choice as well as just the whole shape of him. Like, this is probably between the two. I like this one the best. Which one do you guys prefer? The green one or this blue one right here?
I think I prefer this one.
I can't choose, man. They're both really good, honestly. Especially this one. This one kind of gives me the animated series of from Ultraman Jonas. This monster looks like it would appear from it. I dig it, honestly.
Sort of feels like something that come from the Godzilla animated series.
Or that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good design. Do either of them have names yet or no?
So the first one, the working title for it is Pacho, and like it
Bacho?
came from Pacho, and
Oh.
it comes from this story of like this guy who saved like a baby crocodile, and like raised it, and he named it Pacho, which is like a slang for like a big guy,
Mm-hmm.
and so like in my story that's sort of like the same origin of the name.
Mm.
And this
I like
one
that.
doesn't really have a name yet. I'm horrible with naming my kaiju. I can't really decide what I want to go with
Yeah,
sometimes.
literally, the fact that you said that is exactly why I did that short on kaiju names, because that's one thing I always hear people talk about is how it can be weird with trying to find a proper name for your monster.
Oh, dude.
Like, even for yourself, Eric, how do you kind of go about getting names for your monsters?
Actually, I did a video about it of like one time. I kind of talked about it a bit, but like usually, like there's this one thing where like I was mixing two different plants to make a monster, and usually with those type of things and those type of situations where like you're mixing an animal or a plant of some kind. Usually, what I would do is like I look into like the scientific name of the animal or plant life, or like just something like, or just like the basic name of it, And
Yeah.
I kind of take that and then I kind of just mix it with my own sort of like naming. So like for example, like uh I don't man, I can't. I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't think of one. But I don't know, like a thorn bush, I guess you could say. You could, like for example, like instead of saying like thorn, you could call it like Thorntontus, or like or thorn Thornomimus of some kind, just like names like that, and just everything else like that. And then like sometimes I just think of it on the spot sometimes.
Yeah, because sometimes
Yeah.
there's those bits of just random inspiration, and there's other times where like you're really just kind of going through like trying to come up with a specific name.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I know there was
Usually.
this.
Mhm. Like
Oh no,
usually
no,
with.
you go.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
It's like yeah. Usually I don't really struggle with naming my monsters. Voice crack. My bad.
Puberty.
Yes, puberty. But yeah.
Like I know even for myself too, like one that specifically comes to mind is there's a snail monster I had. And since it's like super large like snail, it's like a giant monster. I wanted to come up with something that was like expressing that it was big or at least like large without like using giga, mega, or something like that. Like I had Giga Tyrannus already, so having mega for another monster seemed a bit redundant.
Yeah.
And I remember I was looking at Naruto and I was thinking of like obviously it was that giant slug in Naruto Katsuya, and I was like, oh yeah, I could totally do like Kage, and since obviously ninja leaders and all that, so Kage, and then from Kage I went to Kaga, and then for scientific names like gastropods, and essentially just trying to find something that sounded vaguely scientific. So I went from Kage gastropod to Kagastrolus, which worked out really well in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned Slug Monster because I just sent you a little sketch I had that I posted a while ago.
Oh yeah, I did see this one a while ago.
Which is funny because like I can come up with like a joke, almost kind of jokey monster on the spot and give it a name real easily. Because Slugula was pretty simple because like
Slugula is pretty.
it's a play on like Dracula.
Yeah, the Slugula.
Yes.
I could just imagine like a slug vampire, but instead of like crossing garlic, the dude just throws salt on him.
Isn't there actual snails or like mollusk type species out there that actually suck blood?
Probably. I think so.
Probably, yeah.
Is a leech a type of mollusk?
I think leeches are something different. I think at least.
Yeah, sure.
Like, one sec. Let me think about. Let me look that up now. That
Oh
we
well,
mentioned
I mean,
that.
there's leeches.
Leeches suck blood, so it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
they're a type of mollusk.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
oh.
Interesting. Learning science here. I always thought they were just worms.
Same, honestly.
But who knew? Who knew? Oh, apparently leeches are worms. Apparently, okay. Huh. And since he did send it to me, let me also show everyone what Pate's been working on for project. This is nice.
Thank you.
What was the sort of project for this?
Okay, so the idea was a photo collage.
I know exactly what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I was tasked with make a collage and then draw it as accurately as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And hold on, let me bring up the original image used.
Let me.
I believe this took about roughly 4 days at least.
Mm.
But I'm pretty sure it was like 5 or 6. Yes, that is Mario.
That.
Mario.
No. The picture is so even funnier.
Mario.
Oh, poor Mario.
There's Mario in the corner right there.
It's
He's
time to stop.
He's very sad.
Yeah.
Poor Mario.
Yeah, that was Daft Punk right over there. That was easily the hardest part of the image by a massive margin.
I see.
But did you do this as like a collage? Where I assume this was all digitally done, right?
I did in Photoshop.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Because I remember when I had to do a photo collage once, our professor wanted us to take pictures out of a magazine and do it that way.
No, my professor, he said we could do it that way, but if you could do it digitally, that was preferred.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would be easier to do. Because like if you want to do like make something translucent and stuff, you could actually do that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's cool.
There was the other thing I showed you was what I was originally working on for that contest thing. What was his name? That one guy was doing like 2 months ago.
I'm blanking on his name, but I know who you're referring to.
DD Sketch.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
DD Sketch. Okay, so since I kind of both forgot and was too lazy to complete, I'll explain what I was originally going for. So, for context, the contest was essentially make a monster in something that would be in his world. So I decided to kind of dig into some of the aspects of how his stuff worked. So like his monsters and his world worked. And something I noticed was that I forgot what it was called, but whatever energy source some of the monsters had could be used to heal themselves. So I had the idea of a monster that struggles from a birth defect where they are overflowing with energy, and because of that, they essentially just heal too much and end up creating extra limbs and deformities and stuff.
Hmm. You know,
So
I
like,
remember you showed me like how the progress on this design was going, which I was
yeah,
pretty happy with.
yeah, I originally wanted to do it like an axolotl, but I thought axolotls had the more soft and cute look to it.
Hmm.
So it kind of didn't really mesh well with what I wanted to go for. So I looked at other stuff, like concept art for Malzeno from Monster Hunter.
Mhm.
That one artist Tapwing and her Matriarch series,
Mhm.
and Zenogre for the claw front claws, and some old art from stuff I made like ages ago.
Yeah, it
And
definitely has like your style because I liked a lot of your monsters having these elements in them.
yep. And I thought process like I'll let the viewer judge which part is well, how much of it was actually part of the original thing and how much of it is from the deformity.
Well, one thing you can tell definitely probably is at least like, especially in the middle section there's a lot of that rampant regeneration going on, where you can see all those little arms and legs on the bottom there. Which I'm not sure if I'd said this to you when you DM'd it to me, but immediately for me, the first thing I thought of was Resident Evil, especially with like their like Lictor and the Tyrant bioweapons.
Hmm. I never actually played anything for Resident Evil, so
Oh, really?
yeah, I just never was interested. But it's interesting. It's interesting to know. Uh,
Yeah, no, definitely. If like you like that kind of thing, totally looking at some of the RE stuff may sort of help you in terms of more ideas that are along the lines of what it looks like you're thinking of, but just sort of may not have thought of already.
yeah. But yeah, what the rest of you think?
We'll start with Vic and then go to Eric.
I like a lot of aspects of it. Having all those multiple like hanging limbs is something I definitely enjoy, and it's something that
Oh, we lost Potato.
uh-oh, he's gone.
No!
Ah,
Give him a couple minutes. As well as we also got someone in the back that I'm not familiar with. I just want to ask, see what he's got for
In
a
the back.
question. Or topic or question.
But yeah, I like that. Those hanging limbs.
Does it also kind of remind you guys of like Tremors, kind of, especially with the head with the
Oh yeah,
gremlins?
that's something I thought of.
actually, that wasn't the first thing that came to mind. Actually, it was
Oh, what were
the
you thinking?
I was thinking of this one unofficial sequel to Deadly Spawn, the
Hmm.
metamorph creature.
I've been wanting to see that movie.
Yeah, I forget what you call it. That there's like a creature in there that kind of resembles this, but it's like it has more teeth on it. Just like take away the teeth, and I would say this one kind of resembles it a bit.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
So
The
it's
head
also,
also reminds me of the trash eating monster from the Godzilla the series.
Oh,
the isn't it just called like the DNA monster? Oh, there he is. He's back. I'm
yay!
back on.
Okay, so my Firefox, my browser just up and died there for a second.
Oof.
But I was gonna say I got caught off halfway through what you were saying. So can you repeat that?
I
Essentially,
like
Vic.
the
Yeah.
well, as I was saying, I like the limbs and all the like extra appendages and stuff. I really like the two dominant spikes and how the I don't know what you call them, but like all those like
I guess you could call them osteoderms.
I guess
Uh,
so.
I honestly wasn't
What
sure what those were. Honestly, I just was something that came from when it was meant to be an axolotl. I didn't really
Oh.
think much too into it.
Oh, okay.
Do you mean like those aren't like what the gills are they?
I'll leave that up to you to decide.
Hmm.
If
Oh
you
well,
think,
I think they look pretty cool going up along the back and stuff, and I really like the head. Head looks
yeah,
really neat.
that came from the old artwork I did ages ago. I'm pretty sure Zim has it if she wants to show it.
Is that the second one you sent me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
let me
was
switch that over.
largely what the kind of the proportions were based on and the basic shape.
There we go, and that's the
It
original design.
this hunk of crap.
Well, you may
I
call it
mean, for an
hunk
early
of
attempt, it's
crap.
pretty good.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like, yeah, it's not that bad.
I don't know. I look at this and I just ugh.
We
Actually,
all
it looks like
we all have moments like those.
I will say this. I will say this that with the old design right here, I like the little black tips you add from the to the spikes right there.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think that was back when I took a lot more inspiration from like stuff like Matt's work, like some of his older
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
Like there was always those little details in his stuff that I noticed, like how he sometimes would like blacken in the tips of the spikes and stuff to give them more of a highlight,
Mhm.
uh, and stuff like that. But
Actually,
that is
speaking of which, it looks like since there's another person in the back and they actually have a question about the design, it's Doomzilla coming in. He actually has a question about the tail. So let me add him in. And do you kind of explain like what your thought process was with the tail?
the tail. Uh, I wasn't really sure what the tail was meant for, but I decided to give it more of a plant look per Zim's suggestion. And I had the
Yeah.
thought of like kind of like how the leaves are for like a pineapple.
Yeah,
If
that
that
was
makes
something I brought
sense.
up. Yeah.
So I
Because
decided to
essentially,
go
no, you go.
that direction, and I thought if these weird osteoderm things all running along his body, maybe like the tail is like a culmination of like where these deformities and over regeneration were at its extreme, where the entire tail was nothing but these giant osteoderms that covered the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I like it.
That's I think that's probably the best I could say for it.
Let's got another person coming. Hello, Generation Productions. Thank you for dropping by. But I wasn't sure if I'd asked then, but did you have any ideas on like what you want to do color wise for it?
You see, I honestly didn't really think of that. I wasn't really sure what type of coloring I wanted, other than I believe like the original energy itself was like a purple energy thing. So I thought probably have some purple highlights in it, maybe along like the base of the all the osteoderms, or like barely in the mouth as well. But other than that, I can't really say.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But since you are in here, well, it looks like actually no, Doom has muted himself. It looks like. If you have any other questions, Doom, and I also didn't really get to properly introduce you. I'm sorry about that. But if you have any more other questions for him, I'd totally be down for that. Senor Doom, Doom. Oh, there we go.
What up? I don't know what to say.
Hello.
Shalom.
Hi. Hi, I guess.
Yo.
And why not? Since we're here, I might as well ask. Like a week ago, like 2 weeks ago, someone asked about like a feathered Godzilla, and I thought, you know what? Let's see where this goes. And I saw some
Oh
people
yeah,
make some feathered Godzillas and stuff. And
all the drone goji designs essentially.
Mm-hmm.
eh, kind of, yeah. Though I kind of remind me of the one I made like ages ago, where like I just gave him a beard. That was
It's
the
like,
whole gimmick.
let me see. Did you send that one to me or no?
Not yet. Let me try to find that. I do not remember where I put that one.
Sure, not a problem. While you're doing that, I also have some other designs as well. Actually, I'll share my
Sure,
screen and I'll
go
just sort of
crazy.
do some stuff for my own chilling at the moment again as well.
All
Share
right.
screen,
More
window.
self-advertisement. Let's go.
Exactly,
Yay.
of course. And so I'll do my essentially my ultra. So if it actually loads, yeah, there we go. So this alien is obviously the name's Ascalon. That's just the name humans give specifically to this one warrior. But essentially, I wanted to do my take on what I would like to see like an Ultraman-esque race to be. And essentially, for me, like it's always interesting to see ultras when they wear or like kind of have clothes like capes and whatnot. So I wanted to see if I could incorporate something like clothing into the design a little bit more fluently instead of just like a cape. So essentially still having the armor, a helmet, but also having like a flowing tabard similar to that of like a medieval knight. And since like there was a big knight motif, I wanted to have an appropriate knight name. So Ascalon ended up being the name. And although this is like the only character that really keeps that knight motif, all of them are going to have sort of medieval or fantasy-esque names to them. And similar to like any ultra, he's also got his own little color timer and a little head crest bit. And unlike ultras, which have like faces, I didn't really wanted to do something with a face, so I wanted to just do more of a basic kind of sci-fi-ish helmet. But I do like it when ultras have like little beam sabers on their arms, so that I definitely wanted to add. But thoughts, gentlemen?
This looks pretty neat. I will say though that there is actually well, they're not really ultras, but they're a different like race of humanoids.
Yeah, like giants. Yeah,
they're called the Absolutians.
yeah, like
And
Tartarus and stuff.
Tartarus
Sort
and
of-
Diablo. Yeah.
Sort of reminds
Yeah.
me more of like a Power Rangers villain.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, you say Power Rangers villain generation says very Mandalorians looking, which
Yeah, I can see
T-shaped
it.
visor especially, yeah, gives a very
Mhm.
Mandalorians kind of look to it.
Had the same
Oh
spot.
yeah.
And
Very
that's all like clothes, right?
Yeah, it's all closed and like so. Unlike ultras, which when they go down to Earth, they sort of like fuse with humans and stuff. I haven't come up with like a name for this race yet, but essentially they don't really need human hosts. And since they use psionics, all of that's in your mind. So essentially, they're able to project a human form for them to like interact on the ground with people with. And that form isn't necessarily going to interact with like physics normally. So like you could open the door on one of these, like one of their projections, and the body's just going to phase right through it. However, if they actually appear how they're supposed to, they're going to look like their giant form.
Oh, okay.
Because, and then the other thing too is that like they're also a lot more similar to the Absolutians from the Ultra series because they're not really all heroes. I guess like I wouldn't even
Like
want to say like
Redman.
not even like Redman either, because like with Redman, it's more just he wants to kill kaiju because he's a hero and all that. This race of aliens, they have like a mission statement about like protecting not really humans, just protecting life and stuff, but they also believe in the superiority of their ways. So they have no problem essentially taking over planets and creating like their own societies based around them.
So
okay.
Warhammer
So
40K.
Yeah, they're literally like essentially like Primarchs, but Ultramen in a world of kaiju.
Oh, all right.
So like they are like Ultramen, but the Imperium for people who are familiar with both of those franchises.
All right. Well, something since we're on your art, I did notice something like with a lot of your human designs.
Mhm.
You never really like to show like a normal human face. You have like a mask or something on.
Yeah, I hate drawing human faces because they suck. Oh, actually, you know what?
Yeah,
I'll show this
I
off.
figured.
Like, this is a character from like my novel series that I'm
Well,
working
it's
on.
not
They're
Essentially,
not too bad.
yeah, but like for example, you get closer. I sent you
Yeah, the
probably a
eyes are
small.
off.
The eyes isn't the issue. It's mostly like trying to get the nose there because here's the thing. I could do this if I put in like. Oh
I
wait,
can
no,
barely see the nose.
because it's only the two slits there because of her skin. So because of that, it looks more anime-ish. But like again, I hate doing faces. I need to get better at faces. Like even this guy too. Like the eyes are a
Yeah,
little bit
no,
off
that's
there.
normal. Faces are a pain in the ass.
I can
Like
send you a pretty good YouTube video on how to draw faces.
Actually,
That's
no, I got you on this.
I
This guy is
totally
straight from my
please.
professor. Straight from my professor. Video straight from my bloody professor. These
I
are the
would love
videos
to.
I need to use.
Because like I love doing like armor and stuff for my characters, but like getting faces down is always a challenge. But
That's normal.
I mean, speaking of like characters with like
Uh,
masks and stuff, if anyone's wondering kind of like what from the new reality audio drama that I did, anyone wondering what Cedric kind of looks like, this is sort of his ensemble look. Although he doesn't actually supposed to look like this at that point in the story. Like all of his gear is stuff you're going to see him accumulate. So I may actually have to do a drawing of him without all of this on, or at least without the chest plate and
Sort of reminds me of
the
a
sword.
Fallout character.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a post-apocalypse, so him having these quality elements is definitely something I was trying to do, at least. So especially because of the fact that yes, I do love me. I love the Pit Boy design, so I wanted to do something similar to it.
All right, that makes sense to me.
Because actually, the idea I had with this was that the reason why there's that big upper segment there on the arm is because this is actually like a type of smartphone that is just injected into this handheld device here, and from there you get the look. But
oh yeah, I did. I did find the bearded Godzilla thing I did ages ago.
Let me stop sharing myself. Let me show you again, my good sir. Discord, drop down. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, I remember this from a little while ago.
When I decided one day, yeah, let's make a Godzilla with feathers. Someone challenged me or something, and I said, "Bet." I did it. Gave him a beard. That's it.
Full-on beard.
You see, because like Godzilla Earth had a beard, and I thought, hey, that's not a beard. That's just a spike. You can't go halfway with it. If you want to give him a beard, go all the way.
Make him an old man.
Exactly. That's why I thought Feather Godzilla was a fun idea, because it's a perfect excuse to just give him a beard. This is the one I did for Godzilla's anniversary, like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
That was the other one, which I think was the better one done.
Let me switch over to the second one. There it is. Yeah, this one here.
Yep. Here's the old man. Big beard and all.
Big beard.
It's almost like he's got like a Giga Chin or a Giga Chad kind of looking head right there.
He's got a Godzilla 98 chin.
Yeah, it's a 98 chin too, yeah.
The best kind of chin.
The best kind of chin.
But yeah, not my intentions. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
But not much I could really say. I just wanted to give him a feathery chin, and kind of just went from there. I think my biggest complaint was that the fact that the spikes just feel out of place.
Well, it's kind of like I think maybe if you like, it's just a bust. Like if you probably done a full design, you probably would have put more like thought into where you wanted to put those lines. But like for what it is, it fits well.
Yeah, I think if I were to ever go back to do a feathered Godzilla, I would probably take inspiration from some of the other art I've seen, like the one where like it uses the feathers to look kind of well, it draws the feathers like they're spikes, but like they're still feathers, but they have this like sharp appearance to them.
Are you talking about the one that's sort of like the bust, but it also has like the arms in the shot too? That
Yeah,
one? Yeah, let me bring that
yeah,
up.
that one, the blue one. I thought that one was a really good like a good idea of how to approach it.
Mm-hmm. I know for me, kind of like whenever I see a Godzilla with feathers, I think to myself, that's cool. Could be its own monster, but cool. Like, I see this and I'm like, that's a really interesting feathered monster design.
I think
Like,
yeah, it's not Godzilla enough, which I think is like the challenge of it. I think why a lot of people try to do it, just the challenge of try to make it Godzilla, but also do this idea you want to put into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, what do you guys think?
I would say since we have the 98 fan here, Vic, I want to hear your
Hello.
thoughts on it.
Okay, so when it came to the Godzilla with feathers idea, the first time I ever saw something like that was for our Godzilla design stream, where we looked at a bunch of stuff, and one of them was like the Crow Godzilla. And
Yeah,
Godzilla?
that one.
I
Yeah, there was
thought,
the Crow Godzilla from that
yeah,
stream.
yeah, and I thought that was a pretty interesting design element to add. And like, part of me thinks like, yeah, it looks pretty cool, but also the logistics of it, I guess, of how that would work, come to my mind. Because like, two things I think of are like penguins and then the Jurassic World Dominion Pyroraptor. Those two things come to my mind.
I think someone did a penguin Godzilla actually.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of penguin Godzillas.
I think it's very amusing.
I guess it's because since penguins are flightless birds and they swim, that's why everyone thinks to themselves Penguin Godzilla is like the first thing
Also,
that comes to
they're
their mind.
like fat and chubby.
Yeah.
And so like it's just a weird element sometimes to see on Godzilla. Because like I'm so used to him being either like super scaly or with like the scarring type aesthetic that we normally see.
Yeah, like even this one, like it kind of does the whole idea of a feathered Godzilla a little bit better, but I think that may just be because of the fact that one, he's hunched over, and two, there's the atomic energy there, so it's all blue.
Yeah, I think that's
Godzilla.
like I think that's the best one I've seen. In terms
As well
of
as,
like,
yeah.
you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that also too. The since the design is very rough too, we can't really make out all the details to really comment on.
That is true, but
And then one more thing, which is what came to my mind, is he still invulnerable to conventional weaponry if he's covered in feathers instead of like tough
I would
scales?
assume so. I would assume the fact that he has feather is irrelevant to his resilience.
I guess, but then also like when you do something very, very different with Godzilla, then a lot of people are going to assume there's going to be a lot of differences that aren't going to be there with like a traditional Godzilla.
I don't see why that would be necessary.
I guess it's just by precedence, because I mean, 98's a completely scaly Godzilla and is the farthest thing from immune to conventional weaponry. But I guess it's like a lot of people just really want to put feathers on a Godzilla, which I guess fine. But then also like there is that logistics aspect, I guess. Like actually, let me
I don't really worry about the logistics of it. Kaijus don't make sense at all, so I just assume most people just accept that aspect of it.
I guess, however, like if the argument becomes if kaiju don't make sense to begin with, then like I put effort into it at all because
you're free to do whatever you please.
But you're free to do whatever you please. But like also too, like for example, let's just take Star Wars. The sky's the limit. Luke Skywalker could run around in pink panties and flail around a pink dildo. Like it's sky's the limit. But I don't think a lot of people would be satisfied with that. and we could probably do a whole bunch of pseudo intellectual mumbo jumbo about the Force. It could mean absolute bollocks, but again, like I think that stance, it just lends itself to a slippery slope that I personally don't encourage. But I think to each their own. But like when I'm designing something, I think I want to see there have a point to it. Like for example, this was
I,
like I'm
I
saying
suppose.
like I know for myself, with this own monster, what I wanted to make it smaller, so it's within reason of something that someone could look at me like that's big. It's not super super big, but like again, large for an animal. And since it's out in Canada, it makes sense for an animal that's a reptile to have a little bit more insulation, although it is larger, so gigantothermy. And because of that, I don't necessarily have to make the entire monster covered in feathers. Having these kinds of rationalizations, are they going to work for most scientists? Probably not. But does it show that at least you put in the effort to think about it and have it make sense in your head? And does it make sense within the confines of your world? Sure. I think that's what's important. That's what separates like especially good genre fiction, because the biggest issue I think with a lot of fantasy writers is the idea of magic. Like magic's magic. Magic can do everything. So when someone solves an issue in magic, but the magic isn't properly explained, then the reason why people don't find that story satisfying is because of that fact.
That's just mostly bad writing.
Well, it's bad writing, but it's also bad world building too,
As
because your writing is limited by your world building.
see, what my thought process when I say that is that it's just a kind of creative exercise and see what you can and cannot do and see how well it could work.
Mhm.
That's how I always view creature designs, and when people try to do weird and wacky interpretations of existing characters, it's an exercise in expression. How far can we do this? Can it work? How close we could get to what's actually on screen? And we know this is never going to happen because, duh, of course it's never going to happen. No sane like director or producer or executive would ever approve of such a outrageously different thing. But it's fun to just experiment with it.
Well, it's fun to experiment, but inversely too, it's also fun for people to sort of pick at that too.
Of
Because I think
course.
critique and creativity kind of go hand in hand on that aspect.
Yeah, of course. It's just but there's also kind of a fine line between criticism and just being mad that someone did something different. Because
Well,
I
yeah,
see
but
that
then
all the time.
yeah, it's true. But then you also have to then look at what someone's saying, and like if someone's just saying, "Oh, that's stupid," yeah, sure, discount that. But if someone is giving them reasons as to why, then challenging that is much better than being like, "Oh, you're just mad," because a lot of people will just go carte blanche and say anything that is disagreeing with someone's vision is therefore just
Yeah,
not need to be taken seriously.
yeah. I noticed that a lot. Sometimes it's just that some people are just not good at explaining what their point is in a what's the word?
Coherent.
Yeah,
Yep.
coherent way that doesn't come off as rude or crass.
Yeah, exactly. And let me bring Dom. How's it going, Dom? Welcome back to the stream.
Welcome. One more thing before I let someone else have the reins. Let me just try to find it.
Yeah.
Where is it? I'm not sure if I actually really shown this before in another stream, but if not, where is he? There he is. Blah. Here it is. Behold, a creation. Also, what was that thing you were drawing just now?
Just another monster that I'm gonna be adding.
I
but
noticed
yeah,
how you were. I noticed how you were making it a bit more theropodal in its stance instead of the what the original picture was.
Well, yeah, no. But I'll show you what in more detail what I'm working on. But I do like this. Let me get them
Yeah.
all out while I'm doing that. Sort of like lead up to what this guy is.
Yeah, I was gonna say about the bugs. I kind of wish you kept it more of the weird cartoony upright look.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know why. I think it's because of just cheesy.
Wait,
Mhm.
The bug.
the bug? Wait, that one
Yeah.
wasn't yours, Zim, was it?
The
Was it?
the one of them is there for reference. The other one is my actual design, but we'll go back to that because I'm gonna be using that as essentially B-roll footage while we just chat.
Oh,
But
all
let me
right.
show you your stuff. Mm. Let's see this first one here. Explain to us, Potato.
Okay. This was something I made about, I think, a year or two ago. It is called. I believe the working name was Polymos.
Mhm.
It originally came off from, it sprang off from the tonic monsters I talked about ages ago. The weird, the mutated monsters, the big veins on their face and stuff, right?
Mhm.
So I had the idea of what would the culmination, the kind of, if I were to explain it quickly for the people who doesn't know, essentially think of it like the Flood meets Dead Space, but with kaiju instead.
Mhm.
And I thought if well, the big boy is like a Brethren Moon equivalent, then what would oh, okay.
Whoa.
Oof. That
What
was
was
a
the
oof.
you okay there, mate?
You okay?
Is that dumb? Oh.
I think that was.
Oh,
I know he just muted his mic. Continue.
so I thought, what would big monster thingy be? Monster look like on alien planets? That was the scrapped idea because over the years I thought and thought and thought. Then I realized I can't use this thing. This thing has no place here. This is a big phyto monster, and it has no place. And I wasn't really sure what to do with it.
Mhm.
So, after ages later, playing a bunch of other stuff, I recently played this game called Hi-Fi Rush. Fun, cheesy Saturday morning cartoon game about an idiot guy with a robot arm and a guitar beating up an evil corporation. And then randomly in my psyche, through a combination of that, Chainsaw Man, and the kind of dark humor of Hellsing Ultimate Abridged, an idea emerged. Crazy chick, just being completely insane. Just that's all I could really. Blah. I'm sorry.
Bro, what? I
I
can't.
I I.
Bro, I just hear crazy chick. Bro, what the hell?
I mean, hey, we all love
oh,
a little bit of crazy women in our lives, don't we?
oh no, that's yeah, no, that there was some thirst. I won't deny it. There is some thirst when I was cooking. So a crazy chick who is basically the emissary of this monster here, who's essentially a god that wants of change and progress. It makes her emissary when she was like a kid who was abandoned in an alleyway. Decided, you will be my emissary of progress and change. Go be insane and do crazy things. As long as you make progress and motion, you are free to do whatever you please. And that is what this thing is now.
Interesting.
And the whole idea is that this is a world full of messed up humor, crazy people, lots of violence, lots of gods being killed, lots of laws being broken, just all that jazz. And the characters are just not good people, they're not heroes. If I were to kind of give an idea of the kind of tone, I'm not sure if I should even say this because if you get demonetized or something.
Oh, thankfully I'm not monetized anyway yet. So
Well,
go.
all right. So this main character is the type of person. If she would see someone saying they're gonna jump and kill themselves, she will tell them, "Do it. Bet you won't."
Oh, so
That
like really, really black humor.
yeah,
That's the way we
exactly.
like it.
Just the type of unhinged messed upness. That's what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
That's what this thing is a part of.
Were you thinking of something like? Were you thinking of having it kind of be like a black comedy, or were you more thinking that
Yeah.
just like the humor would be kind of like accenting the like really dour atmosphere?
I would probably say a action black comedy. If I
That's cool.
kind of like what Chainsaw Man does,
Hmm.
but a bit more like both a kind of world. It's kind of a contrast between Chainsaw Man and like the Greek epic of like God of War or Doom Eternal.
Hmm.
I see.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
That's all I could really have going on in my head now. All I have is this a chick, her boyfriend, and this monster god thing that will end up being the final antagonist of the story.
Mm.
That's all I could really think about that. I have some little ideas here and there about like what these characters are like and jokes
We
in
still
here.
developing.
Yeah, but I'm still thinking it over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that is my rant of the night. Everyone else, please go insane. I will be here chilling. Good enough.
You get my Insano scream. I do like this shot here with sort of how the beam works.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
yeah, it was inspired by Godzilla Earth a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a shield.
Because it has actually the reason why I like it more than Earth's is because well one it's like since it's red and because it's like whirly and more curved it gives this illusion of almost blood, but because it's coming from these different angles it has more visual flair to it rather than just sort of the spines lighting up for Godzilla and then you just see a beam kind of coming with maybe a little bit of the electromagnetic that's coming forward.
Halo, the kind of electromagnetic halo thing.
Yeah, like it looks more visually appealing overall.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what I was going with that. I just thought the red was just a really striking color.
Oh no, it's definitely striking. Like I would love to see what it looks like with
The rest of the body.
Yeah, like what the body looks like color wise. And actually, Generation asked right here, does it have eyes? I assume it's right
no, it does
there.
not.
Oh no,
that's its nose.
Nose. Oh, it's its nose. Okay.
No, it does not have eyes.
Nice.
Interesting.
Is it like the creature in the Quiet Place then?
No, it's more like if I would best kind of like it can see without his eyes. I didn't really since like originally with like the tonic, they are like creatures that like have these massive tumor like growths all around his eyes and stuff that allow it to kind of see with like electromagnetic junk and stuff. So they don't have to worry about like having to turn its head and stuff. And that's why it didn't have eyes. But I kind of just kept it afterwards because I thought it just looked very distinct.
Yeah, even though those front bits aren't eyes, I think I do like the idea of it, especially with the fact that like one, you don't see like a lot of creatures with his build having long necks too. Like it just appears more striking to me, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think the design came from a cross between this one dude I knew from back on Facebook. Oh god, what was his name? Ah, god, it was ages ago. Let me see if I could find one of his stuff. The person whoever made this, I can't remember his name, but I know one of his monsters was like Duoblick or something. I think how it's pronounced.
What did it
Geoblick?
look like?
I sent you an image
Okay.
in. It's one of his stuff. It's not the exact one, but it was definitely similar, very similar to the one I took inspiration from.
Let me share the next one. I like when I'm seeing the one that you just sent me. I was thinking of someone totally different then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me try.
I do like its line work on that. That's really nice line work.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was someone I talked to back then, and I really liked some of how he designed his monsters and took that inspiration for Polymos, his
Mhm.
body. Also, like the other one was like even back further with 2009 Mechagodzilla's original creature Atrocity. If anyone remembers that thing.
Oh yeah, I
Atrocity.
remember that.
Yeah, there was like an old thing I did ages ago that was just a ripoff of that. But I decided to take some of the parts of that thing that were actually original and just kind of build off of that and give it like an actual body.
It kind of looks like Super Godzilla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the
With
one thing I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Right. I actually made artwork, digital artwork of like coloring in some of his stuff.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Here you go.
Okay, send that. I also
These
know
are-
someone else in the stream.
These are very.
Oh, I remember this one that you just sent me here. That one's familiar.
Yeah, I remember him asking him what the color of his monsters were, and he said mostly black, but with like bones and stuff. So I thought, yeah, let's do that. And
Yeah, I don't remember who this was, but I do remember this picture though.
Yeah, I don't
At least
remember.
just vaguely.
I don't remember who his name was. I need to remember. Oh God, I think I'm subscribed. Actually, wait, no. I think I have him on DeviantArt.
Mhm.
I'll show them off when I find them. But yeah, that's my whole rambling for the night.
all right.
I also know Vic had some more kaijus he wanted to share, but I also know Brandon sent me some stuff that I also want to present before I Red Robin back to Vic's stuff. Almost all these kaiju here, they're very Ultraman inspired. None of them have names, but he's curious to see what some people think. I know one of them I'd already seen before, and I think one was already on one of the streams, but we shall go. There we go. First one. Reminds me a lot of like Red King Sidora, but with like a bit of Teleston is what I think of.
It
I
gives
really-
me more of a Sidora vibe.
Yeah. I really like the head. The head's probably the thing I like the most about it, which is
That's
also probably the
the-
most distinctive bit.
Oh yeah.
It gives me more of a Red King kind of look.
And maybe because of the fact that since it doesn't have like claws, that's why it kind of has that
It has
more
little
Red King bit.
mitts.
Yeah, he's got little mittens. He's got mitts. He's a mittsman.
It's like that one Godzilla. You know those three cells Godzillas, like the cancer cell and the sperm cell. Is
Yeah.
that the third one? That's like, I forgot what it's called.
I'm trying to remember it too. I'm blanking. But I do like this one. I think out of all the ones that you sent is probably my favorite. But next one, bit more chameleon-esque.
That looks like a monster from Ultraman Great, actually.
Which one are you thinking of?
I gotta find it. I forgot his name.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is referred to. Should be Gazebo. It's called Gazebo.
What's that
Ultra.
sound?
Dom, I think. What you doing, Dom?
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting on my bed.
All right.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
could totally
found.
see that.
Oh yeah, I think I
Yeah.
found the guy. that I was talking about earlier.
All
Yeah,
right.
no, send me the link and we'll head back towards it. But yeah, no, I can definitely see that with the head especially.
Yeah.
Although I do sort of like the detailing on the stomach better on this design here than this monster's one. Although
Mhm.
actually probably adding the armor from this guy onto this with that stomach, it could work well as well. Although I do like the veiny bits on this. I want to see what it look like in color though.
Oh yeah, I feel like in color it would look really good.
I can definitely see like maybe like a very like vibrant, almost like kind of like toxic green look, most likely.
Yeah, that's honestly the same kind of thing that I'm looking at right there. Or actually, if you search up Bogan, if you can, I feel like that color scheme would work well with it. Bogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say that green right there would work well in the veins.
Hmm.
And this guy, which I do remember seeing before, either I'd shown it on the stream, but I was familiar with it. This one reminds me of a mix of Titanosaurus, and then Zoa. It'll be the two I'd say it reminds me of the most. And then another monster. It's a newer monster. It's like red and gold.
Maga Japa.
Baga
No,
Japa.
it's like
Yeah, Maga
Titanosaurus.
Japa.
Golden Titanosaurus.
Uh,
How do you spell it, Eric?
Jappa.
Oh, it's not. There's no Baga next to it. Oh, Majapa, not Baga Japa. Okay, I'm stupid. Yeah,
Oh
this is
yeah, I
the other one I
forgot.
thought
It's
of.
this one. They refer to it as Majapa now.
You
Like
like me,
the
Eric.
first time they the first time they call it, it's Maga Japa. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, this was the other one I thought like it really resembles.
yeah, no.
With that design, the drawing, it kind of looks like a mix. Like it just kind of just looks like the from like the fin itself. It looks like a Marucci, not Zoa Marucci, but like Marucci.
Just regular Marucci.
Yeah, regular Marucci. It kind of gives those vibes.
Yeah, because it was those three monsters were the ones I was thinking of the most when I saw this.
Yeah, yeah.
Although it may just be because of the fact I'm seeing a bit of Titano in it. I think he looks kind of a little naked without something on his back, but I think he works well without something on his back, especially
Yeah.
because of all the detailing on him.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Though I would
Hmm.
think a back fin would help, similar to the one on the head.
Yeah, like nothing like too radical, like just essentially a dorsal fin.
But I do like
Wait a
how the
minute.
head
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of like a Gario and like a catfish.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. Wait, is this Skullgador's drawings?
yeah, it's called Udor's stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I recognize the style right
You
there.
recognize that art style
Yeah.
anyway.
I was like, wait, who am I thinking of? That's Skullgador. Yeah.
Mhm. And
He's
going
really
back,
into Ultraman monsters.
yeah, no, he does a lot of sculpting of like kits too.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
But going back to Vic with his
Oh.
furry.
But
Bruh.
Funny
Yeah.
enough, I had to ask the furry community for help on this one because it was one of my first.
oh
God.
my
it was one of
goodness.
my first like.
No, bro, this is
novels.
the concept art of the wolf Michael Jackson becomes in filler.
What's it called? I think maybe that's why people don't do mammalian kaiju too much because everyone's gonna be like, furry.
I just kind of do it.
I would say most because most mammalians are just the monster but bigger.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh-huh.
like, there's a lot of animals that you could do for kaiju that like aren't like traditional mammals, but then a lot of people use them a lot. Like, pangolin / armadillo is like that one mammal that you'd be like, oh yeah, I could totally make a kaiju out of that, and then you see everyone uses that mammal as a monster. Same thing with mammoths.
I mean,
I'd say-
mammoths are cool.
I know mammoths are cool, but like, if you want to make a monster, everyone's probably going to do a mammoth.
It's the
Yeah.
probably the most distinct one of like the mammals that most people will probably say are impressive. If that's the word.
Yeah. Well, for me, like as much as I always thought mammoths were cool. I always like out of like prehistoric mammals, I always liked like ground sloths, like Megatherium and stuff. Like more, I always found them to be more interesting.
I was always more of like the Colombian mammoths. I think that's what they're called, or
Yeah,
maybe
like the
they
one
changed
from
them.
Primeval.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
more.
Colombian
I
mammoth
like more of those.
rather than like a woolly mammoth.
Woolly mammoths are cool, but it's like that one's like the Colombian mammoths are huge as hell. It's like holy crap! Imagine seeing that up close if they were around.
Mm-hmm. Sure. But
But
Vic,
yeah,
explain. Give us a little bit of backstory on this guy right here.
Okay, so for this one, this kaiju's name, I have a name for it actually. It's called Halra. I combine like Hal and then the Ra from like the typical kaiju naming structures you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically the backstory to this one is that he's like one of like Japan's deity monsters, where he has like the title of like Dog King, and he's just like a spiritual type monster that like has like his own temple, and you can summon him whenever like Japan's in danger or something. And so he's kind of like a King Caesar type monster, where he's like a guardian beast. And it was strange. It was funny how you mentioned like when it comes to like mammalian kaiju's and it being like just a big version of like whatever mammal they go with. It was tough for me designing this one because like I obviously wanted to have like a werewolf type influence, but I also didn't want it to be just a big werewolf. And so like one thing I added was like these like knuckle claws on it to try and differentiate it.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely works. One thing that you could also do, I'm not sure if you want to really like go far back to the drawing board on it, but if you're talking about like a spiritual guardian of Japan, maybe giving it like some Shiba influences could totally work. Like because like since that's like considered a really like prominent dog in Japanese culture, maybe throwing in some Shiba could work. Plus you could be pretty memey with it too. Like this could literally be the no horny monster. It could be the fur bait to defend the world against fur bait. I'm half joking when I say that, of course.
Yeah.
When the world needed him most, he vanished.
Matches up the planet. It was too much for him.
Man.
And then you have this other reptile here. Explain this man.
Yeah, this guy was because I'm really into like the Ray Harryhausen aesthetic of like big reptile monsters and dinosaurs. So I sort of just used that as like a launch pad to like just design like one of my own like would be Harryhausen monsters. And so like that's sort of just what it is.
Were you thinking of like essentially kind of doing like beast influence or more like behemoth? Because it looks like almost a combination between those two monsters, especially with like what the behemoth is supposed to like look like color wise, but with a little bit more Rhedosaurus influence, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a general sense, yeah, that's what I wanted to go with because like I didn't want to do anything that was too out there or I guess too unique to where like you don't recognize the influence. I wanted to go like if this guy appeared in like the 7 Voyages of Sinbad, like it would make sense.
Yeah, it would be out of place. Yeah, no, I definitely like it. Like it totally would be something I could see coming out of a Harryhausen movie. Like essentially, I would say this looks like more like a spiritual successor to the Beast and Behemoth than even Gorgo is, in my opinion, because Gorgo looks so different than those two, but this one looks like a more natural evolution.
Oh, he reminds me of the dinosaurs, the stop motion dinosaurs from the from like King Kong, and then
Kind of gives me like a what's the name? Rhedosaurus from Beast of 20,000 Fathoms?
Yeah, it's Rhedosaurus.
Yeah, I really like that. I say it's really, really good.
Yeah, no, he's a really nice design. Let me I'm sharing. And since Potato, you had mentioned it, since I am still working on it in the background as we've been discussing, or in wait, no, it looks like my thing actually dropped out. So I am gonna share the other person you're talking about while I get my iPad back to sharing again. Let me pull out the person's link there because you sent that to me. Yes. Since and as it was this guy you were talking about.
Yeah.
Is that is that the um is that the Heritage Anguirus?
Might be. It looks like it.
Yeah.
That's
It
what I
resembles it
thought.
a lot. Yeah, I think it is.
Is it gonna no, it's DeviantArt's obviously stupid and it's not gonna let me actually zoom in on the picture. But yeah, no, that looks like the Heritage design.
DVR
Interesting.
is goofy now. It keeps on giving you videos of like how to draw.
Oh, so it looks like he has a channel too. I have to give some of his stuff another look. See.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Scroll down a bit. It's the actual image I was talking about is a bit downward. But
Is it? It's probably through another page. This one
yeah,
right here.
here it is. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that was originally the idea for, or at least the proportions of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shout out to this dude. He's pretty cool. I distinctly remember this dude being really overpowered.
Overpowered.
Like he has like
Actually, yeah, that's an interesting discussion to talk about.
I remember like something about like I don't remember like the whole thing. All I remember are like bits and pieces, like how the bones on his arms will like can jut out or something,
Yo,
or
what?
like the notice those bones on his arms, like his wrists.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those are supposed to like jut out as weapons or something. Or
It's
how
like
he has
the weird Trendmaster Godzilla figure that like
yeah.
that's like
Or
all
and his chest is like multiple different like ribs in it, so like to cushion blows and stuff. Or
bro.
and of the drill tail. I remember like something about him. He be able to throw hands with what was his Tyler Davis. You know that guy, Tyler
Yeah, I know.
28th. I
Mhm.
remember him scrapping with Stygia. Well, God, I forgot his name. The Batman kaiju he had. The
I'm
one with
blanking on the name too.
the one with the four eyes. The final boss of his story. Like the father of the main kaiju who one shot at him the moment they first met.
No, I'm still blanking. Sorry.
Bloody! I'll grab a picture of him.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember him throwing hands with that dude, and he was actually like beating his ass and winning.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I could really talk about with that dude. Oh, shout out to him! Go check out his stuff. I'm not sure if he's still doing stuff now. I haven't seen him upload anything in ages.
Let me pull back to his first page because it looks like he has a podcast at least. Whiz this.
I'm pretty sure that podcast was like ages ago, so I'm not sure if it's like.
It looks like at least like a couple years or so ago, at least like 2021 is probably when he did it. But it also looks like he does have a YouTube channel thing. Let me just scroll over to that. When was that podcast done? That's the question. Yeah, that looks like it was 2 years ago. Actually, no, I am subscribed to his channel. It just looks like it hasn't uploaded anything a little bit. But yeah, no. Let me switch over to this other shot right here.
Oh, he has a Twitter. Is he actually active on this said Twitter?
Since
Last thing he did was on February.
yeah, it's this right here.
Yeah, the last thing he said was on February.
Yeah, he's probably busy and stuff, and that's kind of what
Yeah.
always ends up happening.
Yeah, I'd be like that. But yeah, shout out to this dude. Give him attention. He's pretty rad.
Radical.
Radical, dude. But actually, I noticed I'd also seen this too on Twitter. But if those like design like kaiju design pet peeves, what would you say are pet peeves for you guys? Well, since he hasn't spoken a lot, Dom, what would you say is like a design pet peeve you have?
Not not taking not like copying like mostly stuff that's been made, like when people just make their kaiju OC like Godzilla.
Yeah, the famous Godzilla, but totally not monster
Yes.
design.
Not a it's totally not Godzilla, but with red scars on its neck.
I can't believe it's not Godzilla.
It's like those jokes when people put like a mustache on their nose.
Yeah, it's like this is it's like the essentially things
This
like that are usually like
this
the
is
Cold Steel the Hedgehog kind of things of Godzilla
this is
stuff.
this is my OC called Godzilla, not Godzilla, and
Not Zilla.
not Zilla or Gino. What was it? What was the name they gave 1998 originally?
Yeah,
Like,
Gino.
Gino, yeah. I love that name.
This is my monster named Gino. It is like he was the best fighter at the Godzilla Academy, and his like rival was Godzilla, and he was actually like Godzilla's like clone brother, you see.
Clone brothers.
And like like you could go super fandom and be like, and like him and Godzilla like fight over Mothra's attention because like they're totally like love triangle.
Yo, what's
you
up?
see.
This is my
Oh,
OC
man.
called Yellowzilla. This guy is like really strong. He beat up Godzilla with one hand. He beat up Godzilla with his pinky toe one time. King Ghidorah is his brother. Kaiser Ghidorah is the pet of my Yellowzilla, and Yellowzilla has a girlfriend named
Is this Monster Island buddies or? Is
shut
this
up.
Monster Island buddies?
It kind
Shut
of
up,
does
stop
sound like
it.
you're just reciting Monster Island Buddies, man.
Shut up! Don't ruin the lore of Yellowzilla. And he stole Godzilla's girlfriend in high school.
Oh God.
What else?
In high
He
school.
crossed over with Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Also from Spider-Man.
He killed Godzilla. He killed Godzilla's friend Anguirus.
Did he kill Godzilla deaded though? That's the question.
He likes Godzilla attractively.
No. Anguirus was Anguirus was his first lover.
So here's the thing. So here's some drama lore with Yellowzilla. So he loved Anguirus, but Anguirus never showed the same affection with him, so he had to kill him, and that's when he started the beef with Godzilla. And they had a whole fight in the middle school. No, not in the middle school. I meant high school, and Godzilla almost won, but my character is trained by no, he got trained by Bruce Lee, Rocky, Batman,
Man.
Godzilla Final Wars. Don't talk about that. And then of course, my insert, Johnny. And
Johnny,
bro.
Johnny is the most powerful being in the world, and he has all the bitches, and everybody could suck it. he could one shot the he could one. So John, we're talking about Johnny now. Forget Yellowzilla, Johnny. So Johnny.
Are we still on the bit?
No,
I
no,
don't even
so
know
we're
if we
still on the
still are
bit.
at this point.
We're still on the bit right here.
I
We'll let
think we
Johnny
are.
now.
Johnny could one shot the world. He could
You
throw
one-shot your
a little
mom.
rock across the multiverse, and Johnny has been really he's a really strong person. Like he's really buff, you know. Like he's like buff. You know what I mean?
How long is this bit gonna last?
And he tragically died by getting canceled off of Twitter for liking my.
Oh my god. Okay.
That's the origin of that's the lore of Yellowzilla and Johnny.
Here's the thing. That literally does sound like something someone would actually make an impressive video.
Oh
That's-
my god.
What's more depressing, the fact that we let that bit go on as long as it did, or the fact that that's an accurate OC that probably exists somewhere?
I have experienced everything in the world.
You could say you're almost like Johnny yourself.
I am not Johnny because I'm not like them. I am better.
Oh, really? You could say you're the Johnny man, the Overman.
No, I'm better than everybody here because I am him.
I'm him. You got that him energy.
My ego getting out in the way real quick.
If you are him, I have a question. What color is your Bugatti, by the way?
My Bugatti.
My Bugatti. What color is your
My
Bugatti?
Bugatti. Well, I got 100 Bugattis, maybe 1,000. I don't know. Like I have a whole garage full of Bugattis. So I got that green one. I got the yellow one. I got the rainbow one for my gay friend.
Oh,
Why is this bit still going on, bro?
We just like the
Please
Godzilla
stop.
movie, we gotta
End this
drive
bit,
something
end it.
into the
I don't like
ground.
this bit anymore.
Yeah, me either.
Eric, what's your thoughts on kaiju design pet peeves? I'm curious.
I've kind of lost. Wait, hold on. Can you repeat the question? That bit was so long. I kind of just I forgot. I had sort of an answer for that, but now I forgot. Can you
The bit
repeat?
was too strong for you.
Yeah.
What's it called? And the question was kaiju design pet peeves. What did you what kind of what pet peeves did you have?
So if someone's can you give an example?
Like what kind of design aspects that you don't like, certain origins, design, stuff like that, colors, even anything really.
I mean, I don't really have that much pet peeves, but I guess one pet peeve I have is some of the origins. They all kind of sound similar to one another.
Mm-hmm.
A bomb or some kind of explosive item just awakens the monster of some kind, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean then again, at the same time, there's countless of other iconic monsters that have that kind of, typical kind of origin right there, where something awakens them.
Mm-hmm.
The two famous ones being the Beast of 20,000 Fathoms and Godzilla.
Yeah,
but
Godzilla sucks.
yeah. But it's with other OCs, you see it once and then it's oh, that's pretty cool, and then you see it 5 times and 6 times, it's okay. But I don't know, that's, I guess that's the thing. That's with everything else though, it's well, actually, you know what, that's not the only thing. They always feel the need to make their OCs people's characters, their monsters. They always seem to make them really powerful, to the point where it's they're Gary Stu or Mary Sue kind of characters. They're unkillable, you know?
Yeah, like Yellowzilla and Johnny.
You and your Yellowzilla, I swear to God.
He has Yellowzilla, bro.
I may have to actually do art of that just so I can make that a returning bit. I mean,
Hell yeah, bro. Oh, hold up a second. I'm gonna change my profile.
What'd you call it though? I mean, I can't think of well, actually, I don't even know if I can bring this individual up, but this individual, he has an OC, and he wants to be considered the alpha of like not just the monsters in his world, but like of all like everyone's OC, like everyone's original monster.
Oh boy.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
This sounds like a complete disaster.
it
Think to the
pretty
left.
much is, and
This
yeah,
sounds
I
really
won't go
funny.
into too much into that, but this individual is, yeah, he has that kind of like thought process where like this OC is a definitive unstoppable OC.
He is the OC.
Yes, he is the Godzilla OC,
He
it's
feels like he's the one who truly
That's
knows the color of everyone's Bugattis.
that sounds, no. That sounds like a really funny idea for like a comedy monster. The Godzilla OC.
The thing, bro, the irony of that though is that like this individual is serious with that. It's like, oh my goodness.
Like, I can understand that, like, your monster is like the big shot of its own world, but like if you're interacting with other people, like being the one to say that, I'm not sure who this person is specifically, but like you really need to understand that you are working with other people and you need to respect that because no one's going
Yeah,
to want to interact with you if that's how you're acting, because
exactly.
it's not fun for them to write about like your monster being the best. And I wouldn't find it fun if my monster was smacking everyone else's monsters around. I wouldn't want my monster to be a
Exactly.
punching bag to everyone else, but like
No,
work
no,
with
no. It's
like
got
the
to be
people you're with.
competitive. It's got to be
Yeah,
competitive. That's where
Yeah,
especially when you're
exactly.
working with other
Yeah.
people.
hmm
it's like no, no. I'll save that for another day.
Oh no, go.
I was
Curious.
gonna reference the creators for the Thor fight in God of War, but that's not really to have any point in this discussion.
Okay.
We've derailed
hmm
enough.
hmm But yeah, I guess, uh, like to make it short, yeah, basically just people making their monsters overpowered, like unnecessarily overpowered.
hmm
Yeah.
Uh, all right. If I were to give my pet peeve, there's a couple. One, I forgot who said it, but just the generic Godzilla bodies, proportion stuff. You see it out so much that it just gets boring and repetitive.
hmm
hmm
Yes. Another one is how most mammal monsters are, again, just the monster, but big with spikes or stuff like that. Or kind of like, I don't want to call it a furry, but a furry. I
I mean,
Yeah,
what other word is there to describe it?
I think that
uh,
it's like there are like
anthropomorphic.
anthropomorphic. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
Anthropomorphic. Yeah.
that's a lot. That's a lot more. That's a lot less
Neutral.
rude. It's a lot
Yes.
less rude.
Yeah, but
But
the thing is that like because the creature is very anthropomorphic, and like when someone thinks anthropomorphic, they either think of cartoon characters or they think furries. So
yeah,
like it's not even your. Except for some people, it's not. It's like not even your fault. It just so happens that yeah, furries.
but yeah, that I think those are some gripes I have. Other than that, I think a lot of monsters don't like try to embrace the more wacky stuff. Like a lot of OCs try to be serious and dramatic. There's never like a dramatic, silly, over the top kind of feel. Kind of like how I see some of Skullzilla's more Ultraman inspired stuff.
Oh, so you're thinking like it less like serious, but more like realistic, I guess, is what you were trying to
Try to
say.
have a more grounded approach where
Yeah.
like I just kind of get bored of it since most of the time they don't really do anything I would say are cool or flashy.
Oh yeah,
Also,
just so I understand, you're referring to like are you saying that there's too much grounded monsters or like there's too much wacky monsters?
too much grounded.
Oh, okay, okay.
I
All right.
see. I see many of them try to explain it with science and stuff instead of a more fantasy-esque, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of not to go off on a huge rant, but like I guess like in like ever since the MonsterVerse, it's like with new people making their own monsters, they always feel the need to make it grounded in reality.
Mhm.
And like there's nothing wrong with having a monster like that, but it's like, it's
But
with
like,
when it
what are you gonna do with that idea that makes it work.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it also
And
just comes from the fact that like I think because people say monsters aren't realistic, monsters are child fair, then because people try to make their monster realistic, that's the response to it. But I think that it is cool if you make your monster more realistic. At least you're putting an effort into doing that. But I think generally anyone who doesn't like kaiju and is also into creature design, there's probably nothing that she'll do that will actually get them into like liking kaiju. So disregarding their opinions, I think is like a better thing to do in my opinion. I think it's just a moral good.
Yeah, but like all right. I was thinking is like mostly because I always consider kaiju to be more emotion, embodiments of ideas, feelings, experiences. It's something how you feel. They show how you feel, and I would be nice to see something that's more lean more into that. Kind of like with how Gridman and Diana Xenon is. If anyone has watched that.
I've seen it.
I've seen some of them, yeah.
I've seen the '90s one. I don't know. I'm not. I've seen the SSS Gridman one, but like I don't really. I don't know. I'm not really into the old anime aesthetic of it.
Nah.
Too much
Alright.
fan service, and it's just I don't know.
Diana
Too much
Xenon.
size.
Dinah Zenon,
Diana Xenon
Gridman.
better.
Yeah,
Diana
yeah,
Xenon's better, but
yeah. I've
still.
heard that a lot. Yeah.
But yeah, I just like I see so many people do it more grounded. I just would like to see someone try to go the opposite direction just for the fun of it. But that's just
Mhm.
my takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Did
How about you, Vic?
what is his name? Oh yeah.
I guess my only pet peeve would be similar to like the like Godzilla but with red spines or like extra glowing or something like that.
Or
Because
yellow?
I see those a lot.
Can't forget the yellow.
Mm.
Yellowzilla.
Yellow.
That'll be the last time I'll bring that up.
Or relevant. Dun, dun, dun.
There's actually I'll keep this guy anonymous also, but this guy, I mean, then again, I think you may know who I'm talking about, Zim. But does
Yeah,
he
it's hard to describe it, but I may or may not.
Oh, okay. But like this individual has a sort of something like what you mentioned, I forgot your name. The Zilla guy. What
Vic.
Nick? Nick?
Vic.
That's his name, Nick? Okay. So it's like something what Nick mentioned. It's like having Godzillas with like different colored spines or different colored this or different colored that. This guy straight up just has a Godzilla 2000 and with just red eyes, and that's it.
I
And
think I know who you're referring to. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I don't wanna say his name out loud because he's chill. He's a chill guy. It's just he says that this is his definitive and he doesn't want to change it. And it's just like, okay, I'll let you do your thing, man. But it's like,
I think definitely in cases like that, like totally instead of just making an original monster, just like do a Godzilla story, like and post it somewhere. Because in that case, like one, you're just sort of dealing with a monster everyone's familiar with, and it can also just help your writing skills too.
Yeah, I could see that also. Yeah,
but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I definitely say, probably the pet peeve I'd also have is like definitely the same issue is like everyone try to be a little bit too realistic with their designs. That's definitely I'd say is a pet peeve of mine. But like I like the effort that people put in, but then other times I'm like, why? Just no. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little weird with me because I personally try to make my kaiju as grounded as they need to be. Because like I can accept wacky powers or backgrounds. But like I guess an example is personally for me, like I kind of don't understand Gamera's flying ability. Like it's hard for me to comprehend how that works.
Mm-hmm.
and like, it's just something that's hard for me to accept that camera can do.
It's sort of like the thing where it's like you have to see how well you can contextualize something in your design, and then the better contextualized it is, the more someone will believe it. It may not necessarily be realistic, but it's how it's explained or how it's presented that works.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, obviously being the 98 fan, I've always been a fan of, like, grounded monsters that, I guess, are tangible in that way.
Mm-hmm. But, like, actually, when it comes to other stuff, what, like, aesthetically would you say is, like, the, sort of, like, style of monsters, like, from either eras or specific shows or movies that you, like, really follow aesthetically? Like,
For
Potato, what
me,
would you say your kind of style is?
Monster Hunter.
Hmm.
Monster Hunter, Gridman. Those were the best on top of my head.
Hmm.
I will let them speak for themselves.
And Eric, you?
Like, okay, so usually it's like a mix. Mine is like a bit of like early 1930s, 1950s monsters, and a bit of a mix of Ultraman monsters, specifically from the Showa era. And yeah, I have like quite a few monsters like that have that sort of design aspects with it. And like, but at the same time, like I always try to like keep it like sort of like to sort of make it make sense with the world and all that.
Mhm.
But like yeah, usually but then like you see the monster and it's like it has like sort of like a body and like has a pair of like kind of like sort of like a how you say it, like a centaur kind of design,
Mhm.
and it's like that kind of thing. But yeah, I have it's usually a mix of that, like basically 1930s 50s monsters with a mix of Ultraman Showa era monsters.
Gotcha, yeah. And
for
you,
me, it's definitely like the classic, like 50s monster, like fantasy dinosaur features, like the more classic Showa films like Varen, Mothra, stuff like that, and then obviously like Ray Harryhausen type stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I know for myself, I'm pretty similar. Where like a lot of my stuff's pulling from like 50s era monster movie stuff, but also like a lot of retro paleo art, as well as in terms of like some of the sci-fi tech I use in my world. A lot of it I like pulling specifically from mostly like the 80s and early 2000s in terms of like mechanical style as well as environment style. Because I think that just because it was sort of like what I grew up with, that aesthetic just sort of speaks to me. So like a lot of hard corners, muted colors, boxy sort of vehicles and the like. That's sort of my jam.
Yeah.
Like I like my retro future, but like I think also too, a lot of that style also gets very, very that whole style is just filled with things like when people think retro future, they'll think Fallout. So like trying to really like shove your way into that space, even if it's like unique because it's monsters primarily, there's gonna be a lot of people already vying for that attention.
Mm-hmm.
How about we talk about like our art styles and the influences we take from other artists.
Yeah, totally. You brought it up, so I'll give you the floor.
All right. For me, I like to pull from different stuff. Like I I love to pull from like Akira Toriyama and his style, with like the more, especially his early stuff like Dragon Ball and such, with like a bit softer shapes and simple colors. Um, and I like to blend it with like Western style and very early um anime influences. like Astro Boy and like just different Western cartoons.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Potato?
I usually pull from the most recent thing that resonated with me. Like, you know how I had that one sea monster that was inspired by a scene from the fight scene between the Indominus Rex and the T-Rex.
Mhm.
Stuff like that, stuff that resonates with me, that kind of sticks in my head, and I think about it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a scene, but it could be an image or a idea. It's never really consistent. It really depends on what I want in that moment.
Mm-hmm. And you, Eric?
My style is kind of it's more because I grew up with Looney Tunes and all that, so it kind of have like a cartoonist art style. Like everything has like a cartoon aspect with it, but I also grew up watching like Boondocks and Avatar. So like with those kind of like anime designs and all that, it kind of took that with that and I kind of mixed it with my own stuff and all that. So it's kind of like it's more or less like a Western anime cartoon style with it.
Yeah, no, I got you. I know for me, I'm also like, a lot of like the newer stuff I've been doing has been based a lot on like classic Ben 10 and a
Oh.
lot of the like more grungier cartoons from the era. So like Invader Zim is another huge influence, which obviously given my name, I guess that kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
So
your new stuff, is that like, are you trying to make that like your new main style, or like are you gonna continue experimenting and stuff?
I think probably I'm gonna keep like what I'm doing right now is more like because it looks so distinct, I'm gonna probably stick with it for a little bit, but like I'm definitely like trying to do more designs and art that is a little bit more realistic too. So like for me personally, like this is more like a fun cartoony manga-y kind of style. But then like on the side I'm also doing things that have a little bit more extra detail to them. So essentially trying to develop two art styles at once, if that makes sense.
Mm.
That sounds pretty tough to do.
It is, but like also because like this art style thing that I've been doing is a lot of focusing on getting certain shapes to have a kind of blend to them and just looking sort of like what you're looking at. Like let me pull up an example just to show my point. And there we are. Let's see this guy because it's the easiest one I can do for an example. Share screen. Yeah, so when I'm working with this, essentially, like, how do I want to get like the upper bicep? Essentially, just make a square. Therefore, arm is very small. How do I want to make the arm? When I go in here, bend out. So therefore, there's the illusion of the hand. And how do I want to have the chest pop out? Essentially have that dip there right beneath the arm, so it looks like the chest is protruding out, and therefore to make the stomach look thinner, you have this extra detail here, so there's more room in the body that's actually this main color here. And then to get like this look here of almost shading, essentially I just use two different tones, and because of he has three spines there, I use three different grays, so a darker gray, a lighter gray, and then the lightest gray here, which is all the spines here in the front. Same here with the armor on the arm and the leg. And then I use a different tone of green, gray, and that darker gray there for that side. So essentially, it looks like the light's penetrating from this side here, and everything there is kind of in shadow. And it's just a simple way to give their design a little bit more depth. And originally, I had a people on these designs, but then I just sort of saw what happens if I just did a flat color, which was the flat orange, and then I did another layer with a luminescent brush to give that orange glow to it. And it reminded me a lot of like Mike Mignola's stuff from he did Hellboy. And it just sort of gave it that kind of vibe, and I was like, okay, I fucks with this, and yeah, it's just kind of how the design went from there. But like, sort of like, what do you guys do, sort of, when you're trying to like do proportions and the like and all that stuff?
I never really think about it. I just do, and then if I look at it and I think I don't like it, I keep going.
Mhm.
It's less of a logical thing and more of just a flow.
What about you,
me.
Eric? Did we lose the Eric?
I think we did. I think he's dead. Not again.
The yellow killed him. He got killed by the Yellowzilla.
I think he did. I think Yellows didn't like how he was doxing him like that.
There's too much shit talking there from the yellow. In the meantime, then Vic sort of explains sort of like which, like, since you talk about soft shapes, how is it like you sort of translate Shaw shapes? And like, let me pull up one of your designs for a reference. And why is it not letting any of this pop up? Why, stream? Why do you fail me now? Oh, there we go. Awesome. Let me actually, since this one's not a complete one, this can sort of help us gauge your process in a way.
All right. Yeah. So like when I start out, like my process that I've learned over the years is that like how you can break something into like simple shapes, and you can sort of see it on like the hands and like the feet and toes there, where like I'll start out with like basic rough shapes to create like a skeleton, and then like either on another layer or just right there, I'll like draw over it, like and I just keep breaking things down, and then like I refine it with like more detail or like smoother lines.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, are there any like kind of challenges that you've come across in terms of like how you want your design to translate, or is it more like just sort of refining it down until it gets to where you want it to be, and it's not like a hard thing for you, really?
I guess it definitely comes to like getting the shapes to like read the way I want them to read, or like how I would want other people to like read them as. Because like sometimes I'll have an image in my mind, but I can never like match what I draw to that mental image.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I just like sometimes I do multiple passes over like a hand or like a shape that I want until I get it right.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think definitely like hands are like an issue I always have. That
Hands.
and like heads. Sometimes like there's that point where you're just trying to get the head to look a specific way. You probably got it down to the sketch, and then when you're trying to translate it over, it just does not mesh exactly the way you're wanting it to.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. Like, I think that that's the kind of just the nature of the beast when it comes to work on your art style, is that you're gonna have your own way of doing everything. And once you've learned or like found ways that you think, I like how this looks, then everything just kind of falls into place. And I think that also is
Mm-hmm.
just true for like your design philosophy too, because if you have like a certain way you like certain ideas to translate, then from there things can just flow in a lot easier.
Yeah.
But even, let's see, did Eric no, Eric's actually muted. He muted himself, so probably he's just busy then. But looking at the time right now, it is 10:43. I would want to keep going, but I also do have classes tomorrow, and I mean, this was fun. I'm thinking probably too what I might end up doing is we'll do another live stream similar to this the following week, and probably just do it maybe for the next couple of weeks until the 20th, which is when something big happens, which people may or may not know of. But
I do not know of.
you do not know of. I will send you a video as a preview. But just to end things off, where can everyone find you guys? We'll start with you, Tato of Pay or the Po of Tatoes. Potato. I was gonna say, where can people find you?
I have a DeviantArt. I have an Instagram. I have a Twitter.
Almost.
Don't go on my Twitter. It has been tainted. I will not elaborate.
He means porn. I'm just kidding.
Don't say it.
What's it called? Vic, where can we find you, my guy?
You can find me on Twitter at JaCrispyVic. You can find art there. You can find takes. I do commissions. You can find my link there to all my stuff. I'm on Twitter also as G98 Appreciator, focused on behind the scenes stuff around Godzilla 98. And then I also have a YouTube channel, Kaiju Not. Right now, I'm mostly focusing on more 98 stuff. You can find interviews with the crew, and then some details. I just came out with a new video going into the storyboards of 98 and like some missing scenes we didn't see in the final product. And there's going to be more to come.
And you can find me as Zimzilla99 essentially everywhere. And Eric, was that you?
Yeah, that was me. I had to help out my parent with something.
No, you're good. We're essentially just wrapping up. And since you came back at the perfect time,
right.
tell everyone where they can find you.
All right. Well, you can find me on YouTube as EricZilla1999. I essentially upload a lot of variety of stuff. I don't really have a main sort of thing. I might talk about kaijus occasionally here and there, but I also do commentary videos now. And yeah,
You expose the cringe.
I expose the weird side and the messed up side of the Godzilla community. And then there's also I also have a Twitter, which is the same as my YouTube account, Exile1999. I have commissions open if you guys want to send me a DM or something. I also have an Instagram, which is the same, Ericzilla1999. I also have an art account on Instagram called Ezilla99, I think.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
99, yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I post a lot of my drawings. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. And again, thank you all for joining, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. See you guys.
Adios.